I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up!
And wake up, wake up, wake up. Welcome once again. Once again, it is Friday. Friday is my day, as you know. I am John Greaves III. I'm the co-founder of Garage Gym Life. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. If this is your first time checking out the show, welcome, and I promise that you are in for a good time today. On this show, we talk about fitness-related content from a home gym perspective, and we get your live reactions to the topics that matter to the home gym community. So you see that right there going across the bottom of the screen, that like and subscribe. I need you to do that because when you guys hit the like button and you hit subscribe, it tells YouTube that this is the kind of stuff that you want to see on YouTube. So it starts to educate your algorithm. Plus, it lets other people out there know that this is something that they might want to check out. All right. Now, a little bit about our channel. Our channel is not a channel where you get one person's opinions about a topic. The Garage and Life Media YouTube channel is designed to be like a magazine. And this show, this talk show, is the feature, the cover story. And we appreciate that all of you guys stopping by to check it out. I've had people who have been in the live chat since about, I think, 5 a.m. So that's always super humbling and encouraging every time I see that. I need you guys to do me a favor though. Let me know if you are in the live chat. Can you hear me? Because we are I am in an alternate location. I already see the comments. I don't need to blame. I'm not a hostage. I'll tell you guys what's going on a little bit. But yeah, so I got the lights are down. We're in the hotel right now. So I'm gonna have to be on my best behavior for Recliner Rage. But I still gotta crash out and lash out a little bit. In any case, my and I got a little bit of time, I'll tell you. Uh, we are actually in, where is this place? Simpsonville. Yeah, Simpsonville, South Carolina. We are here for a project. We are heading to StrengthFlex, which is the company that purchased Bear Steel Equipment. You guys may remember Bear Steel Equipment. It's owned by Sean Donaldson. Sean's been on the show before. Anyway, so wow, that's a little bit tougher to say than I thought. So Sean sold Bear Steel Equipment, and um, he sold it to StrengthFlex. And back when I first realized that, I said it on the show, hey, I don't know who this StrengthFlex company is. I don't know anybody from there. Don't know anything about them. So I reached out and they invited us to come and check out their facility today. So when the show is over today, we are going to head over there. We're going to get do some interviews, get some footage, and the interview is going to go on our LinkedIn. But the interview is going to go on our LinkedIn, but we are going to also get, like I said, like some walkthrough footage, find out about their products, see if they're going to Home Gym Conf and that sort of thing. Now, I do have, see here, let's go ahead. Before we check out who's in the live chat, so my lovely wife, Naomi, drove here, okay? And she's getting some rest right now. She's going to join us in the second hour. But we move things around a little bit so we can make room for today's guest. And you guys probably already know who that guest is. So while I wait for him to go backstage, let's go ahead and check out before we check out who's here in the live chat, let me tell you what's on the menu for today's show. See, I'm not used to reading this myself anymore. So first of all, we're going to have news and other things with our guest. At 6:45, we're going to have Recliner of Rage. I got a brand fresh, spanking hot, fresh out the oven, new reason to be mad this week. I tell you, I don't even look for this stuff. It just happens to me. Um, but anyway, so that'll be at 6:45. Then in the second hour, which starts at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Central, Naomi will join the show and we will react to the question of the day. Plus, we'll talk about a couple of topics that I wanted to touch on based upon watching the most recent episodes of Rep, Rant, and Repeat and the Home Gym Roundtable. So I just watched Rep, Rant, and Repeat earlier, both of them were earlier this week, but I watched Rep, Rant, and Repeat at the beginning of the week, and then I watched the most recent Home Gym Roundtable. I want to say I watched it on Wednesday, maybe Thursday, whatever day it came out. I saw it pop up on my feed, and I went ahead and I watched it. I haven't had a chance. I commented on Rep, Rant, Repeat. I haven't had a chance to comment on the Home Gym Roundtable yet, so I'm going to double back. I'm going to circle back, and I'm going to um, and I'll comment on that. But anyway, so that's going to be in the second hour. Then in the third hour, which will be 8 a.m. Eastern, we're gonna end the show a little bit early. First, we're gonna talk to you guys a little bit about Strength Flex. Of course, I'm gonna tell you guys what I learned this week, and then we'll end the show probably about 30 minutes early because we're gonna head to Strength Flex. All right, now let's see who's in the building today. So let's jump in the live chat. So let's start the question of the day. Come back to it. All right. So first in the building was Letha Cannon. Let's go ahead and take that banner down. Here we go. Yeah. All right. So Letha Cannon from Balance and Grace Coaching says, "Good morning, rise and shine. It's Coach Carp time." There you go. Hey, I'm as excited as you guys are. So Letha was in here. I told y'all 4:30 in the morning. No joke. This is not a drill. Oh, we need to stop the presses. I'll be back for the live chat in a second. But before we do that, the reason why a lot of y'all are here, okay, I'm irrelevant. I understand my place in the universe, or at least my place in the hierarchy of the show. The reason that a lot of you guys are here, and definitely the reason for the phrase FOC, we're going to go ahead and we're going to welcome Carp. All right, let's go ahead and get him in here.
Go lift, baby. Woo!
What is up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
You never know with these microphones and stuff. We'll make sure they're good to
Yeah,
go.
that's all right. How you like that?
Yeah, I was like, oh no, I got the intro.
Hey, look, man, you got a special intro. Hey, special guests need a special intro. I worked on that. This week has been crazy, but I was like, dude, I've been working on that intro for like 2 weeks because I just kept on getting interrupted. I'd have to go do something else. I'm like, no, we definitely gonna make this happen. So let's see here. So far we are checking out who's in the live chat. The first person here was Letha. Letha's been here waiting for you since 4:30 this morning, if you can believe that.
That's what I'm talking about. We got fans, baby.
Hey, that's it. Look, hey, recognize your status, man. Then Carlos was here at 4:54 a.m. He said, rise and grind. If you're running on coffee, H2O, and FOC, there's no better place in the world to be. Look at him using his dang English composition skills.
There you go.
Says, wake up, wake up, wake up. Sean from Colonial Barbell Club says, FOC assemble. Hey,
You
there you
know
go.
me.
Hey, and look, and I'm gonna tell you, I had so much fun making the thumbnail for this video, man. the with the So basically the thing I put in Canva was give me a crowd. I wanted like a crowd for a concert to like make it just look like a big
Yeah.
deal. You know, concert back there. We gotta make this happen. Let's see here. B Ruiz says, good morning. Early bird gets the worm. Hey, appreciate you joining us, B. And then, all right, now they're frying me because I'm in a hotel, right? So you can vouch for me. I told you I was going to be traveling.
Yeah, you
Carlos,
did.
he said, another blink twice moment. I promise I'm not a hostage. Hey,
Hey,
Trevor
Kevin's
says
still
I'm
up. If we
here.
had to, we could call Kevin.
Hey, there you go. Trevor said I'm here. Let's see here. And Carlos said, I can't wait to hear what made you mad. I'm telling you, I'm telling you. Oh, finally, somebody said hello to me. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Say, hey, John. All right, man. So now that we've seen we've called attendance here, we got to do it. Got to pay bills. You know all about that. So let's go ahead. We're going to take 40 seconds check out my favorite powerlifting bar from Bells of Steel, and then we're going to jump into news and other things. Here we go.
This is the Bare Naked Powerlifting Bar from Bells of Steel. I have used a lot of bars since I started lifting weights in 1993, and this bar has got to be one of my favorite. I have loved this bar since I first saw it at Home Gym Con in French Lick in 2023. I saw it, tried it, and I had to bring it home with me. It's a bare steel bar, so I said, let me see how well it holds up without any maintenance done to it. And when I say zero maintenance, it still has a blood mark from where I hit my forehead when I was getting set up to squat one day. And I left it on there because I committed to do zero maintenance on it just to see how the bar would hold up, and it has not disappointed me.
So, have you used that bar? The Bare Naked Powerlifting bar?
Yeah, I've had a couple of them actually. Yeah. Oh,
I mean, so you've used a bunch of bare steel bars. I actually like them because, first of all, I think that the knurling is a little bit better because I remember when like the Cerakote became like the thing, but then the knurling isn't. I mean, I don't want to call it aggressive because it's not aggressive to me. Maybe that just my hands are dang used to it, but to me, a bare steel bar just has you just can feel the knurling a little bit better. You know what I mean? And that's really the reason why I like the Bells of Steel Bare Naked Powerlifting bar so much.
yeah,
Because
that was the bar that really showed me like what a good bar was because working out at the YMCA or different places, they have bars, but none of them are any good, like the knurling and all that. So that one really showed me like what a power bar should feel like. And back then, that price point, I mean, you couldn't argue with it. So it's still a pretty good price point too. So I mean, I would definitely recommend it to anybody looking for a new power bar.
heck yeah, I mean now so you guys watching the video, you guys can just the link is in the video description, but you just click that shopping button that's at the bottom of the video. It'll support the channel. But I will say that the number one thing I like about it, like I mentioned, that I've done zero maintenance on it because I was just curious to see how it would hold up because that was the number one concern I have. And I know a lot of people have with a bare steel bar is how's it going to hold up if you're like in a humid environment or whatever. Georgia gets humid. I'm sure, and I know y'all have crazy weather
Yeah,
out there.
definitely.
Murfreesboro area. It's like so. That's one of those experiments that I think I actually thought about getting one or seeing if I could talk Rory into getting one and just putting it in his gym. Because I don't know if it's climate controlled. I'm sure he's got some sort of heat out there, but because of he's got that building, I thought about just putting a bar out there and just seeing how it handled the elements, like a bare steel bar, just seeing because I think that'd probably be like the best test,
Well, I don't want to
especially
steal
since
your
you don't
thunder, but I've
worry
already
about
kind of
this.
got
Yeah.
a science project like that going on.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah. I mean, well, see, his place is like set up for that. And for me, it's like the thing with the power bar is you don't really need the sleeves to spin a whole lot. So I mean, maintenance is like can be very, very minimal. But anyway,
Yeah,
that's
I
my
don't have that one right now, but I do have their 7 ring bar, which is all bare steel.
yeah,
It just has a little bit thicker sleeves than their normal power bar.
yeah,
It's not as aggressive, but it's been sitting out here. When I first got it, I brushed it down and then oiled it one time with the Barbell Rescue oil, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave it and see what happens. And like I can tell Kim at Barbell Rescue, like, hey man, this oil is, I've had other
yeah,
bars that were even stainless before, and they showed little signs of rust here and there just in this humidity. So it just
yeah.
goes to show you that their bars are well made, and if you just do a little bit of maintenance, like they'll be fine.
I think it's like a tribute to. I really didn't have any plans on doing bar talk real quick this early, but I want to say it's like that to me is also incentive to get a quality bar instead of just finding the cheapest thing you can because you know you may want to do like a barbell collection if you're a barbell collector, but if you just need a bar that works, pick a good one and then just keep it. You know what I mean? And my guy Jack Camera at 50 Barbell, he's got a gym that's outdoors in Hawaii, and he said the number one thing that keeps his bars in good shape is just using them because the oil from your hands
Yeah.
keeps them helps maintain them a little bit. I see y'all's jokes talking about me without my headset. My head must be freezing. I see, I see y'all's joke. I see it. Iron Clinic. Hey, what's up, man? BJ is here. He says, I didn't realize the Hall of Fame was on today. Look at that. That's definitely a Carp reference. All right, let's go ahead and let's jump right into news and other things, and I'll ask you some questions along the way. Okay, so the first news item, we always start with the question of the day. So, what were your favorite home gym products of 2025? That's the question of the day. I need you guys to comment in the live chat with your answer, or if you're in the replay gang, go ahead and shout out to the replay gang. Just post your reply in the comment section. You can just reply to the pinned comment, or you just put it anywhere in the comment section if you're in the replay gang. So let's go ahead and let's start right there. What were your favorite home gym products of 2025, Carp?
I had to think about this a little bit. I'm like, I can't remember where it came out when, so I kind
That's
of
so
had
much
to
stuff.
do
Yeah.
some backtracking. But I think I got a solid list here. So one of the first things I remember from last year that I got in was the Rep Nighthawk bench. It's like their smaller bench that can take attachments. I brought that in, purchased it myself, reviewed it, and I've had multiple benches in here, probably 5 or 6 different benches in here, and that's the one that stayed around. I'm not opposed to trying out other ones, but that's the one that I haven't got rid of, and I think it's because the fit and finish on that is just a step above everybody else's, even though it's their mid-level bench. I
Okay.
just think it's the rounded edges and the laser cut. It just feels good. The pad's good, so that's definitely one. It stayed around, so anytime it can stay around, that's good for me. Probably
I
the number
think you
2 on my
mentioned on
list.
the roundtable. You
What's that?
mentioned it on the
Oh, I
round.
did. Yeah,
You mentioned, yeah, you
yeah,
mentioned that like you had it. You're like, I just got it in case I decide to get attachments for it. I got it already.
yeah. We might talk about that later of these ecosystems and stuff, but
Yeah.
the second thing would probably be the Synergy cart, and that kind of got launched on this show. The adjustable dumbbell stand or cart. Mine is a cart because I've
Oh,
added wheels
nice.
to it. I've added
Oh,
wheels to
sweet.
the
Okay.
bottom of it, so it rolls around.
Okay.
But one thing on that is it fits pretty much any dumbbell. So even the other dumbbells I've reviewed, it fits on there nicely. I've got the Reppins on it now, but I've had other different
Okay.
brands and but the arms. I use it as a stand, but the removable arms you can put them pretty much anywhere. You have a 3x3 upright, so that's another one that I really like. I was excited when they brought that out, and I've stayed excited about it. I'm gonna do a few little tweaks to it here and there over the next couple of months, but I'm not getting rid of it. I don't have any plans to get rid of it. And then there was kind of 3 things that to me were a surprise that I liked as well, and it was all from Makolo, believe it or not.
Mm.
After going to their booth at Home Gym Con, I wasn't really impressed. And then
Yeah.
they updated some things and sent me some things, and not just because they sent them to me, because I actually thought the quality was good, and I think you'll see kind of the community probably thinks those items are good as well. And it was the Makolo leg extension. The people say the
Okay.
Tyrette, or I don't know. I've heard it say Tywetted or
Hey,
Tarrant or
don't get me
whatever.
lying. I don't know how to
So
say
yeah,
that.
but that was actually pretty good. Of all the budget ones in that
I was an
range,
English major, not
I
ancient Egyptian.
I thought it was the best one. And then their Anubis 2.0, and then their Bastet bench to go with it. All 3 of those I thought were like good hits out of the park for them. Some of the steel and stuff might not be what other people are looking for, but I thought they were all good products. I thought I had one more down there. What was the other one? Oh, and the micro gains repping plates. He came out
Okay.
with the ones that snap on, and he also has a 1.25. So if you're looking for the smaller increments on your reppins, because they come with a 2.5, but a lot of people didn't like that design. They updated it since then, but I've always preferred his that just snap on to the dumbbell, like with that snap design. So those are my favorite ones from 2025.
So I know one thing is funny that you brought up so 2 things you brought up. Where you talked about like the reppins, whatever, and we're looking at the Newell bells. I'm not sure if you've had those or not, But I was looking at the newer bells because we're trying to set up like a home gym solution at my dad's. Um, we're gonna put so I had those three section adjustable benches. So I sold the Makolo to a guy named Jay, and I actually just pulled up something because I want to talk about he did a conversion to how like the on the on the basket, how like the seat flips down,
Right.
put it in vertical position, and just falls over. So he did like a little conversion to stop it from doing that. And if I have time today, I'll talk about that a little bit. But um, then we're looking at, like I said, we're looking at the newel bells and just some sort of adjustable dumbbell solution. It might just end up being power blocks because it doesn't have to be
Right.
some magic thing. Just got to be something that we can have. Basically, it's got to take up a very little space because it's got to be in a small bedroom at my dad's place. And then I've got the exponent edge bench is going to be over there. It's going to be at his house. My dad lives in Nashville, for those of you who don't know. And I was up there visiting him when I went to Waffle Taco.
Right.
That was an epic visit. I'm telling you, Carp, you need to go.
Yeah,
You need to
I
go.
would say I'm gonna plan. I have a plan to go. We need to go sometime together. But
Oh, heck yeah.
on the new
Complimentary.
bells, I haven't had them personally or reviewed them or anything. But Rory had them for a while, and a couple of my other friends have had them. And then I've sure you guys seen where people have taken them apart and broken them real easy. I've
Oh,
reviewed
well,
some
yeah, I
other
lost it
dumbbells
right there.
similar that had a snap, a wrist change, or whatever you
Yeah.
call it. That's how you exchange the weights. And all the ones I had, there's some type of little piece of plastic or something that interacts with another piece to make them change. So my biggest worry was always like if that piece of plastic ever breaks or something internally breaks, you're out of luck. Where on something like the power blocks, I had those for years. They just have like a pin or like a plastic piece that goes through there. If those ever break off, it's fixable pretty easy. And I had one that broke one time, and only one of them was usable. Only one pin would go in. The other one like snapped off, but you could still use it without it coming apart. So that's why if I didn't have Repins, I'd probably have a set of power blocks.
That's what I was thinking. So the only thing I was concerned about with the power blocks is, and this is like years ago, people were talking about it and said that you don't necessarily have the room. Because what I had was the Bowflex, and I do not recommend them because they broke, right? And
Right. I broke three of
uh,
them
I mean those things were
combined.
trash. I'm like buy a bunch of them and throw them all away. And but yeah, so power block might be the way that we go. But my situation is anything I get that's like that has to also work for Naomi. So it's gonna depend on how she likes it. So it's probably gonna be one of those things where we wait till we get to Home Gym Con, or I think because we do have a local deal, like so Fitness Depot local to us. I believe they've got power blocks there, so we might go down there and just check them out, see if they've got them. I know Body Solid has an adjustable dumbbell solution as well, but I've never used it. So that's kind of like what we're doing. That's like our home away from home gym. In fact, that's what I've decided to call it, our home away from home gym
Right.
at my dad's place. Yeah. Kevin, you mentioned Kevin, and he showed up. He heard his name. He said, "I made it, big man, Carp."
There
Look
we
at this.
go.
Carp is
Yeah,
big in this morning too.
on
Trevor's,
the power blocks, I would say the newer versions have a wider import where you put your hand in. The
mhm.
box is a little bit bigger than
Oh,
the older ones. So if you get a chance to put your hands on them, try them again because you might like them better. The old elites were pretty tight. I think you can still
yeah,
get those, but the newer ones, the 100s and the other ones, have a bigger box. Some people like that. Some people think it's a little bit
yeah,
unbalanced. So you just have to try it. I would get my hands on them next time you can.
yeah. That's what we're gonna try to do. Trevor says knowing Carp was on the show motivated me to get up and in the gym this morning. Look at you changing lives. George Rich
Let's
still
go,
said, "Good morning,
Trevor.
Coach Carp." And early, what a way to start the Friday. Hey, you see me, you see he got me up and moving. I was like, oh, we got to get active. We got to look busy. Carp is here. Carp's here. Look professional. Let's see here. So we got some answers already. Question of the day. So Trevor said his favorite home gym product was the Viper. He said it changed my whole training strategy. Have a cable tower with that much versatility and a stack that fits in my garage. He's got very low ceilings, so I can
Yeah.
see how that definitely would change things. Because when we got the Bells of Steel cable tower a couple of years ago, that thing changed our training completely. in a good way. So I can definitely see that. That's a good pull. Kevin said his favorite was the micro gains magnetic newel belt add-ons. He said because progression is everything. I can see that, especially that's the thing that happens with like dumbbells. It's like a lot of times you got to go up in 5-pound jumps, and sometimes
Right.
that 5 pounds is too much, you know. So I like that. Hey, Matthew Porter has arrived. Says good morning, y'all. What's up, Matthew?
Big Matt.
Let's see. Carlos said I never tried it, but I think my favorite is the Infinity Bench. Yeah, I think the Infinity Bench, actually I think the Infinity Bench would be really good for his setup. Because he's got a very tight space. Maybe it might even convince you to get rid of that your old raggedy bench that he's just attached to this old bench. We tried to save him from it, but he's still got it in the
He was
corner.
out there bitching on a lawn chair trying to help him, man.
And it's like I just use it for cable work. I'm like, you can use the bench, the good bench for cable.
Yep, you sure
Uncoachable.
can.
I'm like, uncoachable. Talk to him, Carp. You a coach?
Man, on Trevor's comment, that reminded me. I had it wrote down. I just didn't mention it. It was the GetRx Phoenix Tower. He's got the Viper. I've got the Phoenix Tower. It's a similar thing. His is like against the wall, but mine's a standalone.
Yeah.
That's one thing I really enjoyed. I like it more than I thought I would. And it's still around for the time being, so we'll see how that goes. But I've had it almost a year.
Nice. Carlos said, "Hey, coach, thanks for the link on the leg press. I'm really excited to pull the trigger on a purchase in a couple of months." Well, there you go. And in fact, when you get out of here, you have to go. But before you rush off, make sure you put your if you have like a link tree or anything like to all your affiliate links, make sure you put it in the live chat so people can click on it and go to where to support you. In addition to that, and while we're on that topic, everybody make sure that they go follow. I want you to follow Carp on Instagram, but also subscribe to Carps_Gym on YouTube.
We need more.
It's got really good content. Uh, the products that he was just talking about, you guys can go check out his review of those products. And I really enjoy seeing all this stuff. He's got some nice collabs on there. And I really do, not just because he's on the show, but I like his approach, how he gives a different kind of perspective on the products that he talks about. So you guys make sure you go check it out. And now something I want to talk about. I sent this to you in the questions. It said when Sean from Colonial Barber Club was on the show, he called you your favorite influencer's favorite influencer, right? And he said it again somewhere here in the chat. He said it, and I was like, exactly. So when I said I agree because I said it in passing, and I agree but it's like you're always encouraging people. I've mentioned before how you've been like, you've been on shows that I don't know if you necessarily knew that I was going to watch. And you were talking, in fact, I remember it was a home gym roundtable, and they said, what channel do you guys think, is going underrated and under the radar that people need to watch? And you said it was this channel, right? And that actually like made me like stop and pay attention to you even more. Did you consciously, when you started out, say, I'm going to encourage other people? Or is that just something that just part of your personality? Because you do it more than anybody else I know.
I don't consciously do it, but I just, I respect people when they're doing a good job, and I think it's part of everybody brings everybody else up. Like that bigger mindset kind of just helps everyone. Like there's been people along the way that have encouraged me and suggested I do things, better certain ways, or, hey, try this thing, whether it's lifting or it's making other content or whatever, anything around the home gym community. So when I see other people trying, you can tell they're putting effort into it. Like even if they're green, but they're trying. I remember being there. Like I still, I'm a smaller channel, but I feel like I've gained a lot over the last several years and figured things out on my own. That's the best way to do it. But the shortcut is really just ask somebody else, somebody that knows what they're doing. So like you guys, like you, and I always give credit to you and Joe Gray when somebody asks me, not always online, but just like when people ask me, like, hey man, how did you get into this? And it was really just having some back and forth online conversation with Joe Gray. And then it was so funny a couple years later hearing that you guys had a similar thing years ago. So the chain of like, well, hey, they helped each other back then, and you know they were newer in the community. Nobody else was really doing all this now. Now there's 30 people that do a similar thing, but that kind of just progression. Like, hey man, he helped him, he helped me, and now I'm helping guys like Sean, which I really, you know, he's becoming my buddy. And I just respect him. He reached out to me one day. I mean, it's probably, I don't know,
I saw
6
you
months.
sent the barbell to his kids. Yeah.
6 months or a year ago, and he said, "Hey man, I want to get into this content thing. Give me some tips or whatever." And you know, it takes, first of all, it takes courage to do that. And then on the second side of it, like, I mean, this guy's reaching out to me. Let me at least put him in the right direction. And then we just kind of became friends in the background that people don't know about. But yeah, he's becoming one of my buddies, and I try to just do that same thing that other people did for me. So I'm not really like going out of the way to put people up, but if I think you do a good job, I'll mention it.
It's funny because that you mentioned that, because a lot of people don't. So Joe was already a mod with our home gym, and then I saw his he was doing 1 year reviews.
Yeah.
It's for people who don't know the story, and so we, you know, a lot of people don't realize. I've said it on the show before, but we had a magazine, and before that, we were doing stuff on our website as a blog. And I asked Joe, I said, man, I like how you do stuff. Would you be willing to turn some of your reviews into articles and put them on my website? And then we ended up putting them in the magazine. And he said that, and I did not realize that he had never done that before until I asked him that. And he said, and so he credits me with to people with helping them get started with doing a lot of stuff that he does. So like, and then so I think it's one of those things. Is like, I remember when I was starting, and I'd reach out to people, and some of them were like too busy to help me, or they felt like I was too small to be worth their time. And one of the things I said I was going to do is never ever be like that, because you never know who's going to be, who could help you later on. But even if that person can never help you, it's to me, it's one of those things where it's like, so like Joe helps you, right? And then you ended up being the reason why the people who are on the that home gym roundtable, so a lot of them started watching my channel because you had grown enough, because Joe helped you, so that you were on their radar. And,
yeah, man, I love it.
That recommendation, yeah. So it kind of full circle. But even if that hadn't happened, the fact of the matter is that if we help each other, I think Sean said it's like a rising tide. Yeah, he said I like to try to be a rising tide. Carp is a tsunami. He raises even the biggest boat.
That just means I'm big,
I hadn't
right?
read that part of the comment yet. I just saw the rising tide. I didn't see that other one. That's hilarious.
Typhoon or earthquake, man, the natural disasters.
Hey, what's up, 332? Ashley's here. She said, hey, John and Coach Carp, what's up?
What's up, Ashley? We'll see you in a few months.
Trevor said, the more you give, the more comes back to you. Exactly. And yes, Carlos, we are hating on your little rickety suicide bench.
Yes, get another bench.
Please,
do we need to call Jonathan to get him on here and tell you to get a bench too? Get another bench. We'll help you get one. We just said we're helpful.
If I could pay a crackhead to just break in your
deliver
house,
it to him.
Take the bench and just leave a note. And the note will say, this for your own good. All right. So
take the treadmill too, so he'll really be shocked and won't know what happened.
And like, just leave a note. Yeah.
They took all my gym equipment.
I started saying FOC just in passing, but it was based upon like what we're talking about. Is like based upon how many people I could see, like when looking at your Instagram, like how many people are connected to you because of how you move. And I think some of it is because like you're part of the Massonomics ecosystem. In fact, let's go ahead.
That doesn't hurt
right now.
I'm on your. What you're saying is I'm on your radar.
That's it. Well, speaking of radar, here's your gym radar profile right here.
Yeah, it's a little light on there right now, but it's on there.
Hey, you're at I think you're at position number 700. Hang on a second, where are you at now? Position 74. Okay?
Hey, that's not terrible.
No,
I mean that's not Keith, but that's not terrible.
There's thousands of people on there. So that ain't bad at all. So anybody who's on Gym Radar, make sure you go follow Carp's Gym. He's been a member since January 16th, 2026. So I say that counts you as
Early
a
adopter.
Gym Radar original. Um, but yeah, so let's go ahead and stop sharing this. All right. But yeah, so because you are connected to so many people, right? So I just started saying, it's like, okay, so this guy's he's a friend of Carp. He's a friend of Carp. And I ain't about to say all that every time. So I said FOC, right?
Right.
And then I started seeing other people saying FOC on Instagram. And you said you had other people were saying it. Does that? And then I see people saying "yup," like you always say "yup" on the comments and stuff. I see people saying "yup" back and forth to you and each other. Does that like catch you off guard? Does this surprise you how much that's like moving? It's like a movement now.
Yeah, it kind of it surprises me. Like when you go to something like Home Gym Con and people know that, like people can comment and you never see them. I mean, some of these people I know their names and stuff, and they comment a lot. Um, but when you see people that you've never met before that say stuff like that, I mean, it really is kind of surreal.
Just
Like
walk
the
up to you and say,
last,
"Yep,
yeah, just the yep or whatever. They're like, hey man, I watch your channel, and you're like, maybe you know of them through some other
yeah,
thing, and like, oh, I didn't know you ever. I don't ever see you comment or whatever, and like, oh, they're like, yep or whatever, and I'm like, okay, okay, well, obviously you
yeah,
watch because you know the
yeah."
different the lingo or
You know
whatever.
the code word, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I mean,
yeah,
that's just because sometimes I've even had people like, you know, bigger channels or celebrity people, and like, hey man, I watch your stuff all the time. I watch you and Jonathan and this other guy, and I'm like, cool, man. Like, I guess we can have just like we are fans of people. People can be fans of ours, so there's nothing wrong with that too, I
right.
guess.
Like I went to Marcus, Marcus from golly,
922
Twisted
Designs.
Barbell.
Yeah.
Yeah, 922. I was like, it's Twisted Barbell. That's not the name of the design company. When he had his booth, and I just went to him, I said, "Hey man, I want to make this for Carp," and he said, "What? Yep." I said, "Yeah, yeah." So he's like, "I ain't gonna charge you." He said, "It's for Carp." So he just
I
made
was
it.
getting ready to say I got
So
a keychain that says that right now.
yeah, I was like, "Yeah."
Or
So
a
man,
bottle
let's
opener,
talk
a
about this.
keychain bottle opener, I guess it is.
I was like, let's talk about this home gym roundtable because I watched it on Wednesday. And I enjoyed I especially enjoyed Jason's random rants
Yeah, they're so much
just off
fun.
the
They're
top.
so much fun.
Um, I'm telling you, man, it's like to me, that's like actually I was wrong. I did comment on it because I said this is where I think Garage Gym Radio excels. I think nobody does the roundtables better than Jake because he's able to pull so many different people from so many different places and it's like herding cats to do a
Yeah,
roundtable.
he's getting really good at it, man. He's always been good at it, but he's got even better over the years.
Yeah, just dragging people in, just getting everybody to just say to agree to sit down for an hour. That's a lot. And then think about his people in different time zones.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so I'm just like, look, I know you're one of the like a regular on there. I'm like, what do we have to do to get you guys to do more of that?
Well, this past one was Chip's
Why
idea.
can't y'all did it every week?
It's been a couple years since did it as that same group. I think we were missing Eric Eccles. Normally he's on there with us, but he was a
Yeah,
little under the weather. So he was
yeah,
gonna be on and then got sick. But that was Chip's idea. We were joking, hey, he just wants to talk about his new squat max. That's why we're getting on there. But no, it was
right.
great because I think it was been like almost 5 years since we did the first one, and that's like you're talking about people that give you help and stuff. Like Jake invited me on that first one. I think at the time I only had like 500 subscribers or on
Mm,
Instagram or YouTube, and I just don't have a
yeah,
ton, but I've grown like 4 or 5 times from him first having me on that first. So that got people to see me more than my little smaller circle. So stuff like that definitely helps. And then those guys all know what they're talking about. Like we might not all train the same, but that's what makes it great is we have the different, one guy does strongman, one guy just does general fitness, one guy does it for sport activity, one guy just wants to look buff, like so that
yeah,
kind of stuff. Another guy does grip training. So all those different things melted together, we all have a home gym. So, and then there's usually like a hot topic or general topics of the community. So it's good to see get other people's ideas and what they think about it. And when new pieces of equipment come out, like have you tried it and promoting things like Home Gym Con. So I have a
yeah,
lot of fun on all of them. The only time I've ever had a problem is like some kind of mic issue or something. It's not nothing to do with those guys or anything. So that's been frustrating. But I love to get those groups together. Even if I can't do it, I'll suggest somebody like I was going to tell like Sean or some of these other guys, Kinsey, JB, they've been on some of these different ones. And like, if I can't do it, I'll say, hey man, why don't you call Sean or something to get him on, get Gary from Iron Council. I think those guys would be a group. They could even do their own group. But I think having those every like once a month or every other month is a good idea. You can mix up the people, but that original one, we weren't the first one, but we were a group that I think maybe did the most times. So I love that group. We're buddies. We're in a text thread. I never would have thought 4 years ago that those would be some of my best online friends, you know? So I
Yeah.
love it. I'll do them. I'll do them whenever I can.
Yeah, I can see the chemistry, like, and I think that's why it works with y'all specific group because you guys have such a diverse mix. Um,
And
so
what's funny about
go
that
ahead.
is now Keith has his own podcast. He's had it for a couple of years, and Jason does his own podcast. So it just goes to show you how like that stuff can just blossom and turn into other things over time.
Oh yeah, because especially because you probably some. I think one of the things about being a guest on stuff like that is it lets you know it kind of lets you know you can do it, right? Um, Now I'm gonna be reacting to some of the topics from that episode a little bit, plus the stuff from Rep Rant Repeat. I'll be talking about it later on with Naomi, but but I want to talk about some of the topics you guys covered, and we may end up, I might end up just pushing the Recliner Rage. It's still gonna happen, but I might push it just so that I don't I can have them maximize the time with you.
Okay.
Um, so everybody who's watching, don't worry, Recliner Rage is gonna happen. It's just gonna happen a little bit later, because I really want to talk about. I want to get your input on this. Um, which do you think is going to impact the home gym space more, the digital resistance products or the bench ecosystems? Because those are two things that you guys were talking about as things that have changed in the home gym space.
Right.
And I know I'm not a fan of digital resistance products. I mean, at all. Um, and I wasn't really super excited about the bench ecosystems because kind of like what Jason said, they just remind me of those old Weeder benches that had like the pull-up bar. I have one when I first started working out at home. Somebody just gave me one and I was in the shed and I just used that thing and risked my life on a daily basis using it. So
Right.
actually, I probably shouldn't say that. I feel like so you see Franco Colombo benching like 400 pounds on it, right? But I just don't feel like the Weeder bench he used is the same as the Weeder bench that they sell us. You know what I mean? I just
Right.
don't
Yeah. Probably
feel
not. It's
confident.
probably
You know what I'm saying?
18 gauge steel or something like
You know, man, I'm
aluminum.
telling you this. Well, the uprights are so short.
Yeah, they were
Uprights
right
are
next to your
almost.
face. Yeah, like,
Yeah, so it's
you
like
bench like
if you were
this.
at full lockout, you had to come down. You lock out, then you had to come down a little bit
Yeah.
so that you can put the weight up. It's almost like you're doing like a nose crusher to put the weight away. Is yeah.
Yeah, like
The
mine,
demonstrations.
the bar it came with a 1 inch bar, and like
Yeah.
you could rack it here because the uprights were right here, but you could only put
Yeah.
your hands out this far because you'd hit the plates. So
Yeah.
it was almost like a close grip bench.
Oh heck yeah. It was miserable. I mean, I came close to because I went ahead and I got a regular 7 foot barbell. Because the one that the guy gave me is somebody from work. He said, "Oh, you work out, don't you?" He said, you work out at home. You want this?" I said, and I never turned down anything in those early days. I said, "Yeah," because I can either use it or I'll take it to play it against sports and trade it in. So I
Right.
took it, but I didn't have a bench. So I went and I bought a 7 foot. At the time, Played Against Sports had this deal. You could buy a bar and then 300 pounds of weights. So basically, it was like 45s, 35s, 25s. You know what I mean? And so I went ahead and I got it. And that bar, like I said, I almost missed the rack several times benching with that thing. And I was like terrified every time. It probably made me stronger because there
Yeah,
wasn't any like
scared.
throwing it back.
Have to get
Yeah,
it because I might die.
yeah, heck yeah. But anyway, but now things have come, forward. I would assume that the bench ecosystems now are better, although I haven't tried any of them. So, what do you think is going to impact the home gym space more? The digital stuff like the Voltras, I guess even the Speediest Gym Monster, like smart home gym type stuff, or
Yeah,
do you think these bench ecosystems
I'm
will be a
open to the
bigger
bench
deal?
ecosystem. That's why I said I kept the Nighthawk just in case something cool comes out that I want or want to try it.
Yeah,
I'm a real try it. Like doesn't mean I'll keep it, but if it's something interesting, and I might bring it in and try it for 6 months, and if I don't like it, I'll discard it. But I think I'm also an analog guy. Like the most advanced I get is probably a cable machine.
Yeah.
You know, and that's usually just a tower, or you know, I'm not doing a bunch of crazy different stuff on a tower. It's usually just lat pulls, high low pulls, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think the digital resistance is going to be the biggest new thing, or going to change the game as much more, because I think other companies are eventually going to push the Beyond Power Vultras. That's really the one in the leader in the clubhouse. And I
Yeah.
know like Anchor has some different options and things like that. But
Yeah, but
if
that's not digital. That's
no,
why
it's
I
not.
like
I'm
that.
just saying, like, as far as that type of small footprint, I
Yeah, yeah,
think
yeah,
if
yeah.
the Expedience comes out with that Nano and it's quite a bit cheaper than, and then other companies, that's just going to start the cycle of,
Yeah.
can we get, I think right now they do 200 pounds or something. Can we get it to
Uh,
300 pounds and it feel the same? And it's, you know, it's $400 less. Just like I can always compare it to like the digital TVs. Like when digital TVs first came out, they're like $1,500 for a 20-inch, 32-inch. Now you can go to Walmart and get a 60-inch for $250. You know, so if your TV breaks, you just buy another one. Right now they're so expensive that if it breaks, you don't want to buy another one. But if they
yeah,
were
yeah.
500
That
or
one
sub 500 and it breaks, you're like, that's
people
like,
wouldn't care. Yeah.
it's like a nice barbell kind of, and
Yeah.
$500 is an expensive barbell, but once you get, if you can replace a cable machine, most any, even a budget cable machine is about $1,500 to $2,000. So if you can get two of those for 1,000 or something like that, I think that's going to be. And then I think Fringe is supposed to be launching something too. So they've teased
Yeah.
something, shown pictures and renders of it, but I don't know how it's going to feel. But that's, if those mid level companies start producing stuff like that, then I think that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, I think it's like the cost is the thing that puts people off. For me, it's a combination of the cost and then what Chip said on the roundtable where he was like, you know, think about updates. And I'll just say like already had a situation with the that smart home gym, guys know that we had a thing where it wouldn't retract, and the cables wouldn't retract.
Right.
And then half the time when Naomi will go to use the thing, she turned it on to use it and it's updating. So you can't use it till the update is done. And I'm like, look, I ain't about to have anything I'm using, and then let's say there's a lightning strike and it kills the power to the house, and now my workout's over. Okay, I guess I just do push-ups. So no, I'm
Yeah.
not about to do that.
Like I've used the
Yeah,
Voltra, and even like using it for a little bit, like putting a cable attachment on there or something, and you let it go, and it kind of could swing out, and it has a screen
yeah,
right on the front. I'm thinking like my kids break iPads and remote controls and stuff all the time. I'm thinking the first time I hook something on
yeah,
there, the curl bar is going to swing into it and break the screen. It's like if there's a way
yeah,
to break it, I could probably break it. So that's what
yeah.
worries
I'm
me
not.
is the long term durability, and
Heck yeah. So we heard from you from question of the day about your top five projects 2025. Tell me what's your most I'll let you can go to just well, you can do more than one if you want, but definitely what's your most anticipated home gym product in 2026? It can be something that you're looking forward to seeing at Home Gym Con, or just something that you can't wait to see come out in 2026 in general. What's that?
Well, I kind of mentioned that Expedience Nano. I want to see that when it comes out, but I don't know if that's going to be at Home Gym Con or not. If it is, that's definitely something I want to check out. I'm not a big digital resistance guy, but I just want to see, what the difference is compared to something like the Voltra. And
Mhm.
then obviously the dialed motion leg curl extension, if it comes out this year, because if people don't know, they collaborate with Rep, so they were supposed to have it out this year. Now it might be fourth quarter, so I'm guessing that'll probably get pushed to 2027. But if it comes out this year, or they bring another prototype to Home Gym Con. I thought it was actually interesting because they won the Home Gym Con best new product last year, but they didn't even register that product. People just assumed that was their product. The
That's
product they
hilarious.
registered was the spotters. So people just voted for them thinking like that was the new product. So do they have a chance to win best new product 2 years in a row? Now
That's
that
funny.
rep collaboration. So if they bring another prototype, they could probably win the same thing twice, because people are going to vote for that. It's probably one of the better products out there. And then there's rumors that Texas Power Bar is working on stainless steel bars. So
Oh,
if they come out with a deadlift bar or a power bar, I would be really interested to see that. They've never offered stainless, as far as I know, ever. They had Cerakote and some other options, but they would probably sell a lot, especially in the home gym community, if they could produce a quality stainless steel bar. And then
And
giant
keep the
lifting.
cost down.
I think giant lifting has a chance to have a big year, kind of like Fringe has had in the past couple of years. So if they can do some of the things that I think they're working on, then I think they have a chance to have a big year.
Yeah, I'm trying to get those dudes on the show. Actually, after you connected us, we had an email back and forth a little bit, and they told me basically it was like they're trying to wait until they got some stuff kind of like that
They can
they're
launch it,
working on at
maybe.
the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah, and they said, but they're like, circle back, but we want to come on the show. So keep the pressure on them. And if you
Yeah.
guys are watching and you're into, you're fans of giant lifting or you connected to them, tell them that you want to see them on the show so that we can get them on here. Before we let you go, man, we had about 10 minutes where you said you had to get out of here. So um, you mentioned the idea of trickle down reviews. And I think that that's something that a lot of people don't really understand when they first start out as a content creator because you're small, obviously. And it's, it's, I always like to pass on like little nuggets to help people when they're getting started. So talk about the trickle down reviews thing and how, you basically were able to carve yourself a niche with so many other creators in the space.
Yeah. And there's, as a small creator, what you're probably going to have to do is start reviewing stuff that you already have. Like that'll get you started. That'll get you a little bit of a portfolio. And then as you start getting a little bit of traction, you'll start getting offers from some of the smaller companies. I don't reach out to a ton of companies. I'm not saying that I don't ever, but most of the stuff I get is stuff that people reach out to me for. And I've only got 2,000 subscribers or 2,500 or somewhere in there. So like I was telling a guy the other
But you're
day, I get
engaged.
about
You're
5 to,
engaged subscribers.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I get about, anywhere from 5 to 10 emails every few days or once a week about somebody wanting me to check out something. A lot of stuff gets turned down. So if I'm turning stuff down, what do you think the big guys are doing? All the Glucks and the Coops and all the
Yeah,
200,000
we turn
subscriber
stuff down
guys,
all
they
the
get
time.
they get probably that 20x. So they probably
Yeah.
don't even respond to most of them. So I think some of those people have marketing budgets and they're like, hey, who's the first 10 or 15 people we can get to review this? Because you'll see when something comes out like that, like a dumbbell or whatever, like 10 people will get it around the same time. And
Yeah.
then so I mean that's part of it. That's just part of their strategy, and they just want views. I mean
They got a
that's not.
marketing budget.
Yeah,
They want
I
to get
mean
it in as many.
all
Yeah.
kinds of companies do that. Gun companies, camera companies,
Yeah.
they all kind of do the same thing. So it's not anything that other people don't do either. And
Yeah.
but the bigger you get, the more of those offers you'll get. And then what I've been trying to do is if it's something I don't want, recommend another creator like a Sean or a
Yeah.
JB or a Kinsey. And some of those I've sent them stuff already over the past year or so. Um,
Yeah.
and like, hey, doesn't seem like it's right for me, or maybe that weight capacity is not what I'd like to see. But hey, here's my buddy's email or contact. Like I'll reach out to them first and say, hey, you care if I send this to you,
Yeah.
or
You want this? Yeah.
do you
Yeah.
want any kind of interest or whatever? I could probably get you a treadmill or this other bench for free or whatever. And
Yeah.
so I like to do that when I can, because I think a few people have done that for me, even if I don't know about it. That's probably happened,
Oh yeah.
if they didn't come right out and tell me, like, hey, like, give me this guy's contact info, or he makes good stuff or whatever. Um, so I think that's where you kind of have to start. Is you might have to review some things you don't really want to review. Like you're you're not going to keep it when you get it, but it gives you the chance to make a video and do that whole process. Whether the product's good or not, that's what I tell people all the time. Is make it like it's the product you love. Like you don't have to say you love it, but make it like any other video, and that will shine through. And then other companies
Oh
will reach
yeah.
out
Yeah.
to you
Like
and
put
say,
into it.
"Yeah, I'm not saying lie or anything, but I'm just like put
No.
the same
No. Like
effort
put
into
effort
it,
into it. Yeah.
make it presentable, package it up." Because we were just talking the other day, like I have guys that do strongman and powerlifting, all that follow my channel, and I've got other ones that are just women that are here for cardio, which is fine. Like
Yeah.
that's everybody's welcome. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
make videos for any certain person. I just kind of want to do what I want. But doing something like that has increased my viewership on the female side, like, I don't know, probably 10, 12x, because I started out, had like 2 to 3% female viewers. And now I've got like 28% female viewers. So just making a couple cardio videos like that might get you some extra female subscribers or whatever you're looking for. Like, and then when a video like that does come out of a rower or something, you have a built-in a person that's going to like that. So just, the bigger you can get, the better. So that's what I think. I think like a lot of those companies are looking for the biggest fish they can get. And
Mhm.
then if they can't get that one, they'll go, step down. So I think if you're making content, you're making good content, the offers will come, because I turn down stuff all the time. So those got to go to somebody. And if you're that new guy, they can go to you.
Yeah, I said, so it's like you and I were talking about, we get stuff. Um, so we don't do as many reviews as some of the other channels because, quite frankly, I don't have time.
Or space.
And yeah, exactly. And so what we do a lot of the times now when we get stuff is we'll forward it to somebody else, like you're saying. The thing is that sometimes when, and I don't know if this happens to you or not, but when we say, okay, this isn't right for me, they're like, well, yeah, but we still want it on your channel,
Right.
right?
I had the
And so
same thing
we have,
recently.
yeah, so I'm like, okay, sure. So that's how you guys see some of the videos that are on our channel that aren't from me. It actually works out into what I was trying to do, is like, because I said I wanted the channel to be like a magazine, trying to be more upfront with people about saying that now. But in the past, I was like, I don't want to say it because I don't want anybody to take my strategy or whatever. Now I'm like,
Right.
whatever, you know. It's a magazine has more than one contributor, so it works out for us to have multiple people doing reviews anyway, and it can help out people. And then the other thing we do that we're starting to do now is for people who don't even, in terms of the space thing, for people who don't even have channels, I'll do the review, but I'll say, okay, yeah, but you got to deliver it to somebody else's address. I'll go over there, do the review, and then we just leave it at their house when I'm done. You know, that way it hooks them up. If it's somebody that I know deserves it, I think it's somewhat similar to that thing you did with Rich Fit with that female personal trainer who was
Yeah.
in
Nina.
your,
Yeah.
yeah, so somewhat similar to that. So we try to do as much of that kind of stuff because it also, again, it goes back to just, trying to do good for people where you can. Um, Dude, this was a lot of fun and we ran out of time too fast. But before you go, tell everybody how they can start watching your stuff, where they can follow you. And that way they can potentially become part of the FOC.
Well, first of all, you can talk with your money. I am taking money. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, there you go.
But I did turn on the join feature on YouTube. I think we've got a handful, maybe 3 to 5 guys or gals in there that are channel members. I'm just not something I'm really pushing, but if you really want to join, that would be one place to do it. And I think it's like similar to John's, where it's like 99 cents, $3 or whatever. Um, I'm not looking to get rich off that, but I figured it's on there. Why not do it? So you can find me at Coach Carp 76 on Instagram, or Carp underscore gym on YouTube. That's probably the best 2 places to find it. I also have a website, carpsgym.com. I'll repost some stuff on there. Some of those early roundtables are on there. So if you guys want to go back and see the Garage Gym Experience roundtables from 3 or 4 years ago, some of those are on there on the website, on the main page. So you can go see how much some of us have changed since then. And that has all the affiliate links and on there. It's a good place to go. I don't do a whole lot of blog posts on there anymore, but I have some blog posts and stuff on there too. If you're an article type person, I'd like to do more of that, and I'm not opposed to having guest, like John was saying, guest writers on there too. Maybe that's something if you guys are writers you want to look into. But yeah, that's where you can find me. And I'm all around. Just type in "yep" or "FOC" and you'll find me.
There you go. Look at that. How do you've reached a certain status when you can tell people, yeah, just type in "yep," and I'll pop up like
I don't know if that's true. It just
over
sounded
part
good.
of the English language. Hey, we got to make that true, man. The hashtag "yep." All right, so look, I'm just gonna tell you, bro, like Naomi and I spend way too much time thinking, like, oh, you know what? We could probably do this as merch. I'm like, why are we? Every now and then I say, like, why are we spending time coming up with merch ideas for Carp? He may not even like this stuff. He'll never see the light of day. But we're here like, oh, we could do this. I'm like,
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I saw that on your list of merch stuff. So I guess
yeah,
I'll announce it here. I've in the past I've done T-shirts and headbands. But if you come to Home Gym Con and you shake my hand, you put one of the old Vice, as my grandfather used to say,
okay.
then I will give you an exclusive Carp's Gym sticker. Not the. I'll give you the regular one too if you ask, but one that I'm just going to bring to Home Gym Con. So I don't think anybody has it yet. Maybe one person. That's a special deal. But I'm not sending those out to everybody. So if you want one of those, come to Home Gym Con and get it. But I'm not opposed to making T-shirts. It would probably have to be some type of pre-order situation because last time I had mailed them all out myself and all that. So if people are interested in that, I'm always open to do it. We can talk about that later. But that's probably going to be the only new item would be that new sticker. So I'll hand it out to you in person at Home Gym Con if you come say hi.
Look at this disreputable character sneaking into the live chat. Probably got flip flops on right now. Look
I said a few select people may have it.
There you go. So Sean said he wants a Carp shirt. So hey, there you go. Y'all know what to do. Find this dude at Home Gym Con. We gotta let him get out of here because he's got business to conduct. He got things to do.
Thank you for everybody that bought a shirt before because I see them all over the place. I was just going to say thank you for everybody that bought a shirt in the past years because I see them all over the place on your stories, on your videos, and I usually reshare those. So if you have a current one, you're always free to tag me and I'll reshare it, and that just helps everybody else out too. But I was actually surprised how many of those I sold. We did 3 different runs of them last time, so if there's a demand, we can do it again.
Hey, there you go. All right. Well, y'all heard it here. You guys make sure you, as soon as this show is over, I want everybody to go over and subscribe to @Carps_Gym here on YouTube, and make sure you follow Carps Gym on Instagram. And then you also got, you got a Carps Gym Instagram as well, right?
Yeah, that's just the gym. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You can
And
also
then
find
make
me
sure
on
you
Gym
follow him on
Radar.
Follow him on Gym Radar. So yeah, we got all the links for everything in the video description, so you guys can follow him. All right, man, get out of here and go do your thing. Rory promises to wear one of your t-shirts today.
Nice.
All right. Appreciate
I'll
you
catch
being
y'all
here,
on the
man.
replay.
All right, man. Yep. All right, that was my guy, Coach Carp, man. Carp is one of my favorite people. And to answer your question from earlier, Carlos, about whether or not Carp, whether I'm still mad, Carp should have made me happy. I know you had it on here. First of all, yes, we are hating on your rickety little bench. But I'm going to tell you right now that it is that time. We've put it off long enough. It's time for the most popular segment of the show, Recliner Rage. Let us crash out now.
It's the recliner of rage. It's the recliner of rage. Cause he's not happy.
Okay. Now, I told you I'm in a hotel, right? So I can't do a lot of yelling, but this thing has flipped my switches for the last 2 weeks. All right. This has been driving me, actually, maybe even longer than that. Let me just tell you. Okay. Today's Recliner Rage is dedicated to the fight I'm having with my health savings account over Naomi's Hyperice Hyperboot. So we told you guys about the Hyperice Hyperboot. We saw it at HFA. Naomi tried it. I tried it. We both were like, oh, this is dope. But Naomi does a sport where she's running long distances and I do not. I mean, yeah, I do. When I compete in powerlifting. So, you know, it, you're not going to turn down. You're going to definitely throw the slides on after a full powerlifting meet, but nothing compared to Naomi running a triathlon, right? And having to run 3 miles and all that. And so she had been in the past, she was, what we would do is she'd go home and we got a foot massager. She put her feet in the foot massager to just start the recovery process, right? Because if you do a lot of running, your feet swell. So anyway, anytime you do any kind of long run or long cardio, your feet go swell a little bit, right? So we say, all right, cool. This is obviously an issue. And we see the Hyperice Hyperboot, boom, let's get it. It's going to take care of that, right? She can wear it as we're driving home. She got a triathlon coming up April 18th. So I ordered the Hyperice Hyperboots for her on March 24th. So it'd have time to get here. Okay. Now, normally I do all of my HSA purchases through Amazon, so I don't have problems. But this time, the Hyperice Amazon store didn't have the Hyperboots in stock. So I had to order directly from their website. And full disclosure, those things cost $854.93. And that's with saving $100 tax because I use the health savings account card, right? So it's a medical thing. You get to use it pre-tax dollars. No problem. Okay. Anyway, I ordered it. They shipped it on March 31st. It arrived, I want to say, about a week later. And then the games began. Okay. So the HSA company started sending me requests for more information, which is great, except they keep saying that a receipt isn't enough. So I don't really know what more information they want because a receipt is what I got. They said they need an explanation of benefits from my insurance company or a provider's date of service, along with a detailed statement from the provider explaining the services providers. So called them. I went through the automated message, which helps nobody, by the way. In fact, put in the chat comment in the chat if you're that one person on planet Earth who's ever had their question answered or their problem resolved by the automated system. I don't think you exist, but let's say, I want to say miracles do happen. There might be one person out there who's had their problem resolved by the automated system and didn't have to speak to a representative. If that's you and you're watching, go ahead, put it in the chat. Anyway, moving on. Always get put on hold. Always get put on hold when I select 0 to speak to a representative. Sometimes I'm on hold so long that the system hangs up and I have to call back and start the process all over again. And when I finally get a human on the phone, it's like pulling teeth to get them to understand that all I did was buy my wife a pair of shoes to treat inflammation and soreness after her race. It always happens. She always has it. And this was the best solution because that way she won't have to suffer for days after the race, after running 3 miles. Okay. Sent them the receipt along with the product info page from Hyperice, the Hyperice website, where I circled the words HSA compliant. And by the way, I hate how every time I type HSA, autocorrect changes it to HAS, despite the fact that it's all capitalized because it's an obvious acronym. It did it multiple times while I was typing this rundown. But anyway, I circled the words HSA. It did it again. I circled the words HSA compliant and sent them that. Then I went through the rigmarole with the automated system to say, hey, I uploaded this. And by the time I spoke to the representative, I said, hey, here it is. I circled it, pointed at I got an arrow. It says HSA compliant. They said, well, it's not valid because the receipt doesn't show the date. The date is the date my account got charged. Date is the date my account got charged, which is when I purchased the product. So I finally got Hyperice to send me a receipt that hopefully fixes the problem that shouldn't exist anyway. That's why I'm in the recliner of rage. Literally leaning back and mad at the same time. In fact, I'm gonna play it one more time.
It's the recliner of rage. It's the recliner of rage. 'Cause he's not happy.
Okay, I'm calming down. I'm calming down. I've done some cleansing breaths. Here's another one. Just relax. All right, it is 7 o'clock. Shout out to, well, it's technically 7:09, and shout out to the Central Time Zone. We appreciate all of you for starting your Friday by getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. We are heading into the second hour of the show. And Naomi is going to be coming on the show in a few minutes. She actually, I saw your comment, Carp, where he said, thanks for having me on the show. Sorry I had to bump Naomi, but I did want to say, I really enjoy Naomi coming on in the morning and doing the general topics. It's really added something to the show. Oh, dude, I'm telling you, having her on the show is probably one of the best ideas I've had related to garage gym life. Having her on the channel in general, just like you were saying, that doing certain types of content expands your audience. I realized, oh, about 2.5 years ago, that because we don't focus on reviews, our audience is different than the other channels about our size, right? Like, if you think about it, um, we're the same. Actually, I think we have more subscribers than Glux Gym now, but we are not in the same wheelhouse as them, right? We don't do the same thing as them. Um, and we don't have as many as Basement Brandon. Again, we don't do the same thing that Brandon does. So when I thought about it, I'm like, well, we actually have we serve and we're going to serve a slightly different demographic. So if I want to grow, what I need to do is make sure that that demographic understands that this is a good place for them to come. And so the best way to do that was by adding Naomi's voice. And she's added a bunch of things that we wouldn't have had. For example, just the way that, I mean, she was already giving her input in terms of how we actually built our gym, our home gym. But the fact that she's on and able to verbalize and vocalize the difference between how a woman would set up a home gym versus how a dude sets one up, right? It has been really important to the channel. And some of the products that she's interested in checking out, some of the companies that she's interested in finding out more about, have been game changing, because a lot of that stuff is stuff that I never would have, been interested in. So it just makes to me, it just makes a channel that's a lot more accessible to a lot more people, not just women, but I mean, just like anybody who's interested in triathlons, for example, or any kind of cardio stuff, is going to want to get Naomi's feedback. Like, we have this entire thing with Averon and their Fit Bike because Naomi has an interest in that kind of stuff. We never would have had those interactions if Naomi hadn't been an active part of the channel in front of the camera, because I wasn't about to do any, indoor cycling reviews. She's done four video, actually more than that, and maybe six. I think she's done six videos centered around indoor cycling, from doing a sample workout to there's 3 reviews of different indoor cycling bikes. And that's just one example of stuff. So having her on the channel has definitely been a big deal. Um, let's see here. Anyway, so she's going to be coming on. Now, we were supposed to get to the hotel last night, and then we had a glitch because plan A for doing this show was going through an update. So we had to leave plan A behind, and we are now on the backup plan. All right. I'm sorry. Well, plan A is at the house. Plan A is where I normally do the show. Plan B is what we were going to use because it's more portable, but plan B is out of the way and it's going through an update right now. And now we're on the backup plan, which is this laptop. And so we had to spend time setting it up because, of course, it had to go through updates as well, but it took less time to do the updates on this than it did on everything else. So as a result, we didn't get here till a little after midnight. She set up everything, and then she took a nap. Okay, so I told her she could take a nap. So actually, it worked out, Carp, having you on the show early because she got to get a little bit more rest. But anyway, let's see. I see y'all talking about it. Carlos said, "Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate the support." We're talking about my HSA thing. He said, "Yeah, man, that's so freaking annoying." Like 10 minutes of, "I'd like to speak to a representative." I'm telling you, like, please. Like, why should I even? Okay, anyway. It should be like that should be the option. Like, if you don't want to wait for a representative, like, you call and you're going to call to a human, it defaults to sending you to a human. And then say, by the way, if you don't want to wait, press this button and, listen to an automated list. Don't make the automated list the thing I got to go through first. Whatever. Yeah. Anyway, Sean said, Recliner Rage always reminds him of Joe Pesci from Lethal Weapon, but with way less cursing. Dude, that's hilarious. Joe Pesci is one of my favorite actors, man. Like, that scene in My Cousin Vinny, this has nothing to do with home gym stuff, sorry. But that scene in My Cousin Vinny where he busts out the cabin and just starts shooting, makes me laugh every time I see it. That's one of my favorite. And let's see here. Let's see. Trevor said Miss Helen answers the phones for the HSA company when she's not at the airport. I'm telling you, Miss Helen is a menace. She and Fernando are destabilizing the fabric of Western society. Miss Helen says, "Get back to her when you solve it." I'm telling you, Miss Helen and Fernando, they're a combined menace to Western civilization. All right. Anyway, so if you're watching the show right now, there's 5,602 of you guys watching. I appreciate every single one of you being here. Do me a favor, just do one more thing for you. You're already watching. Do me a favor, just hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. If you want to, please share this video with somebody else who thinks it'll be funny. Just Recliner Rage alone should be enough for them to want to laugh. And if you are already a subscriber, do me a favor, and you want to support the channel financially, there are two ways you can do it. You can either click the shopping button and go ahead and make a purchase on one of the products that's on the shopping button. That's whether you're watching replay or you're watching live, or you can simply become a channel member. It's 99 cents a month. Click that join. Once you're a subscriber, you'll have a join button in place of where the subscribe button was. Click that. It's 99 cents a month. Every bit of that money goes back into supporting the channel. Okay. So those are some ways that you can help support us if you want to. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and dive into the topics. But before we do that, I want to go back to the answers from the question of the day. So let me get this over here. All right, so let's go here. So Letha said her answer to the question of the day, what was her favorite product of 2025? She says, my M1 Pro Smith machine from RedFit. Little did I know that one purchase would eventually be the beginning of a process that led me on an entirely new journey. Heck, yeah, because that's the thing that started your home gym. And now now you actually coach people. So it actually led to a career for you. That's huge. That's a big pivot right there. I like that. That's a good pull. Let's see here. So this is okay. Trevor said, talking about, in the first hour, I mentioned that my wife and I are looking at some sort of adjustable dumbbell setup because we're trying to set up our home away from home gym at my dad's place. And that space is very, very restricted. So we can't have the big full set of dumbbell rack, and he wouldn't allow it. Okay. I know, Carlos, you said something about as long as we don't have melted cheese anywhere, it should be okay. Yes. He don't allow melted cheese in the house. All right. But, well, he allows it in the house because we were able to eat pizza. It just can't stay overnight. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so we're looking at, some power blocks. And Trevor said power blocks are always on Facebook Marketplace, and he's used them for over 10 years. So for me, it's more a matter of making sure that Naomi likes them, because if we buy them from Facebook Marketplace, she won't get a chance to try them before we buy them, right? So we're gonna go check them out. I think that Fitness Depot has the power blocks. You can come in and tell me. I think Fitness Depot has the power blocks. So we'll go there and try them. And then if we like them, then we may go on Marketplace and grab them or just whatever. And there she is right there. All right. Hang on a second. we got to do the thing, right? Because she just showed up. So we got to do that. We got to do that. I don't even have any control over this anymore. So yeah, gotta play her song. We gotta play her theme song. All right, there you go. And round of applause for Naomi. There you go. Did you just do the spirit fingers?
When I had to first get myself seated comfortably on the ottoman.
Scoot over.
And
Scoot over.
Position.
Scoot over right there. All right. So, okay. So.
I don't know. Can people hear me?
Yeah. Can you guys hear Naomi? Look at that.
Yes.
Sean said the queen has arrived. Yeah, that's right. Hey.
The queen is slightly rested.
Let's see here. Anand says, I hate when I call it 1-800 number and you have to verify yourself with the automated machine. Then you get on when an actual person has to verify yourself, and again, then get forwarded to somebody who can actually help.
The government.
And
That's
then I
a
have to verify
regular
myself
thing.
again. I'm telling you. And then I'm like,
Regular thing.
what did I have to go through all that with the? Oh, okay, you're gonna get me. Yeah, okay. Carlos is like, no, me. Hey, John. Man, whatever. Mediterranean D, first time watching the show, I believe. Although we've had multiple exchanges, man. Thank you so much for checking out the show. He said, has anybody tried RDLs on a T-bar platform?
T-bar
No, like
platform. That's like where
with
it's like almost
the
like a
split.
land.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's just the machine itself.
I have not. I can see how it will work though.
I've done it with the landmine, and
Okay.
we had the attachment. So I put the weight, and then I put the attachment on. And I've done RDLs that way. I've done it face like having the bar in between my legs, instead of facing it. And when I've done it where it's in between, I feel I get more engagement
Okay.
in that RDL. But I don't think I have
Yeah,
more
I've
engagement,
never
but I
done it.
don't know about the range.
Yeah, I don't because for me, if you're doing a true RDL, that's going to be limited by your hamstring flexibility. Um, so there are people to not to be confused with like just a stiff-legged deadlift or a Jefferson deadlift, where people tend to go like they'll let their back round and they'll go down a little bit lower. But in the RDL, I have not tried it for that very reason. Like to me, I didn't see it. Never occurred to me to try it. That's something to put in the toolbox, though. Good pull. Let's see here. We got a couple more. So let's get the power blocks off here. And then George Risto says, I got the Rep Nighthawk last year. We're still like favorite products for 2025. So exactly what I needed. I have my eye on their air bike, but I need to save up for that one. All right.
Now, you guys that like the air bike, and that's the one that's like the big fan where you have the handlebars going like this, the air
Devil's Tricycle, yeah.
that's a whole other level that for y'all that love that, hey, more power to you.
I wouldn't say love, but it's effective. Let's just say it like that. It's effective.
Like in indoor cycling, I can stay on that, to do like a regular workout, no problem, for, indoor cycling. But those aero bikes, or as you put, Devil's Tricycle,
Yeah.
I'm on there for like maybe less than 5 minutes. I'm like,
Or like
okay.
assault bike, they call it. I'm
Okay.
like, that just was a thing that people like a lot of wrestlers use it. I used it when I was training to fight. And this is all before CrossFit was invented. So we didn't have any of these fancy names that they use for it. But yeah, Miss Helen is all these I'm seeing the Miss Helen things again.
Well, we saw.
Oh yeah, we saw.
I did not realize
Went
that
through the
there
toll
is toll roads
Yeah.
in this section
In
of South Carolina.
Yeah.
In fact, it kind of like I was telling John, I said we go through one more toll. It's going to kind of reminisce going down or going up I-95. Or he used to joke around about how much you have to pay to get in and out of New York.
I ain't joking. It's the truth.
It's the Arizona's. That's how you pay to get.
You gotta pay tolls, and then if you're like,
out of
man,
that.
this place sucks, I'm leaving. Well, you gotta pay tolls to leave.
But it's like the first one, Miss Helen was in there, but she was nice.
She was nice. That's why I didn't call her Miss Helen. She's very, very nice.
So
But
she
I was
gave
just
Miss-
like, I don't know. I wish we got her
Miss
name.
Peggy.
Miss Peggy. Okay.
She would definitely be a Miss Peggy.
Yeah. She's like nice old nice. Well, yeah, she's old.
She would call you,
she's
hey,
old.
darling.
She's old.
Kind of thing.
She was really nice. Really nice.
Because Miss Helen will call you sugar.
And keep in mind now, it's the middle of the night, and she's I don't know when her shift starts and ends, but there's literally nothing around. There's nothing around this toll area, and but she's
Pleasant.
sweet as can be.
Yep. They don't take pictures.
She looked like she says, "Bless your heart."
No.
I know. I mean, and like doesn't say it like mean. Like she says, like bless your heart. She looks like she makes like what would be this has nothing to do with home gym stuff. What do you think she would cook?
Would be the bless your heart, and she would make a sweet potato pie for you. Miss Peggy is the one that would be like,
I would ask her to wrap gifts for me. Cause she reminds me of this lady when because when I met you, I married my gift wrapper. Okay, so that does present a problem when I got to wrap gifts for her. So I actually I outsourced that.
Outsourced it.
I outsource it, but I'm saying like she's the kind of like before I met you, anytime I needed to wrap a gift for somebody, I would find a nice, sweet older lady in the vicinity, and I would just look helpless, and they would just wrap it for me. And she's definitely somebody who would get to wrap gifts for me. I promise. Um, Hey, what's up, Dean? Dean says good morning. Hey, I'm loving that bar, man.
Black Widow.
I use it on that. So Dean sent us the cambered bench bar, and I'm using it on my second. I'm doing whole body workouts, 2 full body workouts a week, and my second full body workout it is my bench bar for those workouts. All right, so let's go into the segment, which is basically we're going to talk about our favorite home gym products of 2025. So essentially, our bad because we did a video on the channel where we talked about our favorite home gym products of 2024, and we're like, oh yeah, we'll do this every year, and then we forgot to do the one for 2025. So don't worry about that. We're doing it now. Yeah, don't worry about all that. We're doing it now. So
Think of it like mid-year, not quite July.
yeah, I mean, you still remember 2025.
It's
We're looking back and looking ahead. Like
just
yeah.
yesterday.
Um, so I basically wrote down some products that I thought would be your favorites, but you can tell them anything you want if these products are not, if what I wrote down isn't.
Well, we were
aren't the
talking
ones.
about it, and there were some products that you brought up. I was like, well, that wasn't 2020. Like, yeah, it was. And think
Yeah.
about it, it's like, oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So, I think what was it? Definitely the Fit Gazelle.
Okay.
Always wanted to have like a leg press.
Let me go ahead and pull that up.
And trying to figure out how to get it into the gym space and tried it out at the showroom. Loved it. Tried it out at Home Gym Con and then tried it out during their showroom opening.
Mm-hmm.
And really, really enjoyed it. And then when the opportunity presented itself to come home, we were able to make that successful.
So, and it's funny because you still get questions. You got a question the other day actually that I answered on during Mailbag Monday, where somebody was asking about the range of motion. So we're still getting questions about that. Now this is not the Gazelle Pro. Okay, the Gazelle Pro is a different unit. This is the Gazelle Pro. So
bigger.
and it's got a different. So you guys can see the 3 different leg presses there. They all have a different range of motion, which Matt from RitFit answered on Mailbag Monday, that these are all 3 of these have a different range of motion. So Naomi has the Gazelle, but you can also check out the Gazelle Pro. And I actually hope that RitFit brings the Gazelle and the Gazelle Pro to Home Gym Con, so that people can see the difference side by side. I think that would be a big deal right there. Oh, that would be a game changer because it will help people make a decision.
And I think also, a shout out to you guys, because we didn't even realize that the horns went the way they did.
Yeah.
And now using the horns, I actually prefer using them on the Gazelle. With loading, weight, unloading. Yes, you have the horns underneath. So underneath the sled, but having that to the side, and the fact that they could come on, come off, makes life a whole lot easier. So again, thank you so very much for you guys for like, well, what happened to the horns? Oh no, what did happen to the horns?
Yeah.
Oh, that's where they go. So
yeah. All right, then your next one. So you saw the Gazelle at the Riffit showroom. That's how I knew it was 2025. And then you saw the Mermaid Bar, which is it was just they didn't even have a name for it. You named it the Mermaid Bar. So the Riffit Mermaid Bar that we had, and it's not on the website. So the only way that you guys would see it is if you were to check out our video about the Mermaid Bar, where Naomi was talking about how much, like where it got delivered. RitFit. You saw that at the Chino Hill showroom last August.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
all the way at the far end of their display of all their different, like, their not fabrications, what do you call it? The way they color, the way they make the block with the different shades and colors.
Oh yeah, to show like the different
Yeah,
colorways that were available.
variants.
Variants, yeah.
And it was at the very, very, very end, and just the way the sun hit it, and I was like, "Oh, this is," and I started turning. I was like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
want this one," you know, and like, just what would you call it? The mermaid block.
Yeah, and I remember like I honestly think they thought that you were joking. Like when you were talking about how much you liked it. But then it just became like a thing. And so I'm gonna share the screen so people can see like the video again. And this is funny because people were like, so this is actually showing what you were just talking about. Like when you were telling them, oh, I like this bar, and then you just seen like the different colorways. There is a bar that's has a similar color pattern, but it's not the same weight as this. So this is actually a true 45-pound. I want to no, it's a 20 kilogram bar.
Right, and
Is
this
it?
one's 22.
Right. No, I'm saying this bar that you have is a 20 kilogram bar. The other one is not. It's I want to say it's lighter.
I think so.
Yeah, it's a lighter bar. It might be like 30 pounds, something like that. It's 15 kilogram. That's what it is. It's a 15 kilogram bar. And this one is a 20 kilogram, so it's 44 pounds. And it's funny because people were like, this is just a commercial for RitFit. And I'm like, it's not a review, man. I'm just telling you, RitFit gave my wife a bar for Valentine's Day. And what am I supposed to be mad and not give them credit? Yeah, okay.
I was honestly, I was shocked
Yeah,
because it was, and even like I said on the video, it was kind of like the unicorn.
Yeah.
Like you see it, but it's like you can touch it, but you can't have it, kind of thing.
yeah,
And for me to get that excited about, first of all, any kind of gym equipment for lifting was, first of all,
yeah,
you know, well, and I use it all the time
yeah.
with my daily training. It is one of those that, you know, whether I'm doing hip thrusts, I'm doing any kind of, squats, lifts, bench, anything like that, it's up on the rack.
Yeah.
So that was genuine surprise when I was open, couldn't get into the box fast enough, and he got impatient.
I mean, I was like, this video is gonna be it's already gonna be long. It's gonna be way too long. But I will say another one that I put on there was the Spedian's the Velinix. And I'm gonna let me see if I can find the thing because
Right.
we have it, but you actually saw it at Home Gym Con. So
Yeah.
that's another shout out to Home Gym Con because you got to see it. Yeah. There it is. All right. So I'll pull it up and then I'll pull up the video.
Was actually hoping that to see them and her at HFA this year.
Yeah, they had their names on the thing and then they weren't.
Yeah, so I hope everything was okay, and hopefully it'll be at Home Gym Con this year. But really did, that piece of equipment really did help with training. And I mean, there were one of the things that well, you've seen the video, which made me cry, is when they did an update and it's right.
Well, they might not have seen it. So there's a video where you were doing like, so yeah, go ahead, explain it. That's what I'm saying.
So you have different rides.
So not this video that you guys are watching right now.
No.
This is a different video.
There is like,
I'll see if I can find that.
It's the virtual ride, and it takes you from downtown Manhattan, like over by like Battery Park area, I guess you would describe it. But you're going over the Brooklyn Bridge into Brooklyn, and it takes you to Prospect Park, and you actually ride around Prospect Park. And it was very very nostalgic. Because that's what I grew up doing with my mom and my sister. My love for cycling came from my mom.
Yeah.
We rode everywhere. I mean, Prospect Park was our stomping ground. I found every waterfall. We used to hang out in the meadow. You saw concerts in Park Slope.
So that's it right there. You guys can see on the screen now. If
And
you're driving, don't have a wreck trying to look at this. All right, wait till you wait to watch it on the replay. But it does. I've been walking through Brooklyn with Naomi, and this looks like there.
yeah.
I was like, it's crazy. Go ahead.
So, but like even like one of the sections up on not Flatbush. It's no, it is Flatbush. When you're going up toward the park and like there are different like when you return to go down Fifth Avenue or Sixth Avenue or Seventh Avenue, as you get closer to the park, and by the museum, not the museum, the library. That's one of the largest libraries in Brooklyn is right there by Prospect Park. Also, if you ever visit New York, go to Brooklyn, walk around, go to Prospect Park, go to the mermaid, or the Neptune fountain that's right there. They have a farmers market that's there. It's amazing. But it just
And you get to see a bunch of this stuff just riding around. So yeah,
yes. I mean, and things also have changed, but seeing some of the changes within the neighborhood as well. It's like, oh, I remember when that was a movie theater. Now it's a gym.
yeah.
It's a Planet Fitness kind of thing. But it's cool. Thank you, Speedians.
So Kevin says, I miss my leg press from Rip Fit. If I have a bigger space in the future, it's a good piece. Leg press is in the top 3 quad / glute builder, definitely. And Dean said, as far as the bar, he said, stand by for PRs. Hey, I'll take PRs, man. I'm actually over. I haven't tested it, but using like the estimated 1 rep max, I'm about. You have to guess, and I don't have to use memory. Palest ink is better than the sharpest memory. Chinese proverb. All right, so I am 30 pounds over the most I've ever benched, according to my estimated 1 rep max. I'm not quite at the goal that I set for myself, but yeah. And so I can't wait. So if that bar is the thing that gets me where I'm trying to get to, I'm all for it. Now I wasn't sure about this one because I couldn't remember when you got the smart ring, but was that in 2025?
It was in 2025.
All
So
right. Are you wearing it now? All right, so there you go.
it's not Ultra Human, it's not any of the other big name ones. It's just the Amazon under $60 smart ring. And I purchased it mainly to help track my sleep. While I do have an Apple Watch and I love my wearables, I wanted something that can measure just my sleep while I have my watch charging.
Mhm.
Because sometimes I don't charge it in time for me to be able to have it on throughout the night. And I know you asked me if I use my smart ring or do I track my steps with my smart ring, and I really don't like pay attention to that.
Well, that's because somebody asked a question on
Oh.
and I was like, so while we were driving last night, I'm obsessive about checking our channel analytics. In fact, if you guys ever wonder how come I'm like answering comments and questions and stuff, different times of night, whenever we have a minute and I have to be awake and I see a comment, I try to respond as quickly as possible. So, but if you guys ask me a question and I'm not the one who I'm not the one who did the review, then obviously I got to wait till I talk to the person who did the review, right? And so Naomi was driving. It's before we met Miss Peggy, and I just was like, hey, by the way, about that smart ring, because the question the person asked was how accurate it is for keeping track of her step count, and so we answered the question, but there you go. So adding this on here too. So there are some smart ring choices that you guys can check out by clicking that shopping button if you're interested, but you don't have to get like the most expensive one. But you did, and this is 2026, when you did go by the Ultra Human booth.
Yes.
And so go ahead and talk about a little bit about their stuff.
Went to the Ultra Human booth after seeing one of their reps talk about it, or they were part of a panel at one of the seminars, and how they are increasing or improving the data that's collected with with wearables, but specifically with Ultrahuman. And focus on for women's metrics. So because as women, our bodies, our hormones fluctuate, temperatures fluctuate. We go through our monthly cycles. Look forward to when that stops. But sorry, TMI. But it's one of those things that if you don't take it in consideration, it's really hard to really get accurate data. And hearing that in the seminar, it was like,
Yeah.
you know what, that's right. There's going to be some times in the month where I'm going to have an awesome workout. I'm going to feel extremely strong. And
Right.
then there's other times in the month where I'm like, "Ah, this 10 pounds is just way too heavy." I'm glad to say that doesn't happen anymore. But it's still one of those things that, women's health should take those variants into consideration, into factoring, into calculations and stuff like that.
Right.
And so I'm really excited to see what the Ultrahuman Pro, which is coming out later on this year. I know they have the pre-sale going on. Now, the other thing is Ultrahuman does have membership, but it's not
Right.
a monthly, it's a yearly. And actually looking at the yearly, you have a 1 year or a 2 year.
Yeah.
And it's actually not that bad when you kind of break it down to have access to those metrics. But like I had mentioned to one of the other panelists at the end of that seminar that I went to, when it came through my weight loss journey and my health journey, not weight loss, I would say my health journey, and my metrics I was able to share with my doctor.
Right.
And also being able to show progress and say, okay, this is the goal, this is what our objective is, this is where you're at. We can kind of step back from certain medications. We can actually take you off these certain medications. And then on my annual, I was like, okay, let's just stop those medications, monitor for a few weeks or a few months, and let's see. And I've been, medication free now since August of last year. So
I love that. That's one of the things I was like super excited about. Seeing that you were able to get rid of that, like come off the medications. But the part about sharing the stuff with your doctor and that helping out with like the testing, because first of all, guys don't like going to the doctor because they're gonna tell you some stupid junk. Every time you go to the doctor, they tell you something silly, right? And you're just like, come on, man, whatever. But if that's because they're getting a snapshot, and you know how doctor visits are just like in and out now. But if they have a long-term sample, like an entire year's sample of data from you, they can see the trends. And so they're less likely, they're still gonna say something dumb, but they're less likely to say something to you that's just, and when I say something dumb, it's like, okay, you obviously enjoy lifting weights, for example. Don't tell me to stop lifting weights. Yeah, I obviously, you can, if you can see this person enjoys this certain diet, it's pointless to put them on an elimination diet that they're gonna, as soon as they hit their goal weight, they're gonna go right back to the way they were eating before. Instead, how about educating them so that they can learn how to manage the foods they like within the context without having to give them up completely? Like basically what any sensible personal trainer would do. Right. But the doctor doesn't act like that. They act like, oh, well, you know what? Just stop doing this. And I'm like, come on, man, please stop it.
Well,
Or they want to give you medication instead of saying, you know what, if you make this lifestyle choice and this lifestyle choice, these small tweaks, then you won't maybe you won't have to spend all this money out of your income on medicine. You know what I mean? So that's why I think having that data, that was like the biggest selling point for me in terms of convincing me that having something that like tracks my data all the time would be a good idea.
well, like when I brought it up, the first time I was like, hey, I can share my, from my Apple Health. I'm able to share that, and also from the scale that I have, the weathering.
Getting shout outs. So.
I can't see. I'm also
Oh, okay.
medication, but I do need to wear glasses.
Letha said, Naomi, that's awesome about your weight loss and being off the medicine. Says so proud of you.
Thank you. I mean, I'm a grandma now, and I'm a reboot mom. So, starting off with Norbert and being able to keep up with her energy. That's
Nobody knows who that is.
Norbert. Oh, Nora.
Yeah, I
Nora.
don't. Yeah.
Um,
Like they're like, you got a bear? All right. Uh,
but even
B
bring
said, nice to see you, Naomi.
maybe. But again, when I introduced sharing my data with with our doctor, I was like, I want to give this information to you because I don't want when our interaction is from what you see at this moment.
Right.
It's like, okay, I can see the trends and whatnot. I can see what's going on. I can share it within my health, my chart.
Right.
Depending on who your healthcare is and what systems they have, you can see if with your patient portals, if you use a doctor that has a patient portal, if you can import that stuff. Again, it's taking
It's
it
just
from
data.
it's data, but it also makes you proactive in your
Yeah.
visit. As opposed to is it, oh, how's it going? How much you
Yeah.
weigh?
And also, if you kind of know
Mhm.
like what your data is, you're not as scared to go to the doctor because you're like, I kind of know, what it's not like, oh, I'm gonna go here and find out some horrible thing. I mean, you can still, it's okay, it's not like you don't have a force field because you have data and you know what you're tracking stuff, but it does help. And one of the other things that they said in the panel, and I know we're getting off topic about favorite products of 2025,
It's just a
but
snapshot of what happens at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's happening now. Sorry, folks.
yeah, but it's but I think it was important because they were like, they said, well, look, if you like you're about to do your triathlon, right? If you went to the doctor the day after, your profile wouldn't be the best
No.
because you're just recovering from something like that.
Mhm.
And so sometimes if the doctor doesn't know, hey, I just had a powerlifting meet, right? I'm not at my best because I'm recovering from powerlifting meet. Well, if I go see the doctor the day after that, in your head you're like, oh yeah, I need to go to the doctor, make sure I'm okay. No, they're gonna see skewed numbers because of something you just did.
Yeah,
Right.
you're gonna have some of those,
Right. So they need to see a
any
pattern.
kind of blood work or anything. And that's another thing is that
Yeah.
they were talking about where it's, in that seminar about, who controls your data, with some of the testing, especially with the
Mediterranean
blood.
B said, congrats, Naomi.
Thank you, thank you. With some of the blood work that's available that you can have tested, they actually can test for a lot more things
Yeah.
than what you would normally get from your panel that maybe your health insurance would cover or
Right.
what doctors are looking for. So again, it's a partnership when it comes down to your health. Because you only get one shot at it.
All right. So now I want to touch on something. I'm gonna go ahead and do I'm gonna do my favorites from 2025, and then after that we're gonna touch on something that related to the Makolo Anubis if we have time. Um, so my number one, well, this isn't in any particular order, but I would say the most impactful product that was my favorite, and I saw it and immediately I was like, oh, I know I want this, is the Synergy Custom Fitness Delta 6 tier rack. So Synergy Custom Fitness Delta 6 tier rack. All right. And we got that back in, I want to say November. And but we saw it at Home Gym Con. And so here's our video. I'll just go ahead and hit it right there. So we saw it at Home Gym Con. Shout out to Carlos right there from Synergy Custom Fitness. And you're about to see, so just skip ahead right here. All right. So this is the rack that we have at the house now. You guys are seeing that rack right there. Our configuration is slightly different. So we chose a kettlebell shelf on the very top, and we use that for storage for like yoga mats and just miscellaneous stuff. And then we have dumbbells on the bottom. And the one thing that we didn't do, let's see if I can see it right here.
The trolley at the bottom.
Yeah, so I had plans on doing the thing, so you can see like the trolley. We can have the sliding out tray right there. I said I wanted to do that, but somebody else actually pointed out to me that um, we would have to like move the kettlebells maybe up high, like so move the dumbbells up higher, and then put the kettlebells maybe at the level where the heaviest dumbbells are now, because that way it'll be kind of, so they'll put them like at mid thigh sort of, And then the very bottom level would be the sliding dumbbell shelf, because what we have now is up to 100 pounds. So given the diameter of the dumbbells, it's like, would we be able to fit 105, 110, 115, and 120 on that shelf? I think we can, but that's basically what would end up happening. And then but I mean, it's definitely a first world problem.
Yeah.
It's a good problem to have. But this dumbbell rack is 100% my favorite product of I would say is probably my favorite product of 2025.
It has definitely transformed the gym a
Yeah.
lot, to open up the space.
Oh, heck
And
yeah.
considering that we've had the other dumbbell rack, we've had that for 20 plus years, because it came with
Oh
us
yeah,
from
that thing
the
was
other house
that thing
to
was old.
our
Old.
residence now.
OWLD old.
But it opens up the space.
Yeah.
It keeps it nice and organized, and I mean everything.
Yeah. I mean, and then so you guys know that we just went down to Fitness Depot and we just got um the body solid dumbbells. So now the rack is complete, because before that we had old dumbbells some of those dumbbells were older than some of our kids.
Definitely older than Nora.
Definitely older than Nora. Some of them were some of them were the same age as Joaquin, right? So yeah. So we went down to Fitness Depot. If you guys have not seen that video, it's completely let me see if I can't jump ahead. The guys did a great job of setting it up. So let's go ahead. I'll show this. That way they can see when
I came out
walked
of
in.
my office.
Yeah, she
I
came out.
love
She
that.
saw it. I was
I
like,
had
so
a
this,
long day at work.
and of course she starts lifting immediately. Let's get rid of that.
I want
Hey, I don't blame you. It's like, so at the time, those dumbbells were on the floor, and now we've since added the extensions on the side. So we've got an update coming where we'll show you guys how it ended up, how it looks. But we actually posted that on our Instagram. So the rack is complete. In fact, let me see if I can see that on our Instagram. And yeah, we're still talking about our dumbbell rack. Like it's the number one.
What I
the
like is
number one
also
product.
we were able to put the zero pad on it. We had, it would hold a lot of the what you call it, the J
Yeah.
hooks.
Now we had to take those things off because we put the extensions there, and the extensions are where the steel rope pads were. The steel rope pad was, but we can. There's a way. I know that there's a way that we can have all that stuff on there and still put the steel rope pad back on there. But yeah, it's 100. It's great. So like go up to 100 pounds right there. And this is the first time we've ever had a full rack of dumbbells from 5 all the way up in 5-pound increments all the way up to 100 pounds. And so it's really given me a lot more options. I was able to do dumbbell bench with the 90s, and if I hadn't been so lazy, I'd just gone up to hundreds because the 90s were easy. But yeah, this has been a serious game changer for our gym. So that's
And the
that's what I
dumbbell, the folders on the side, we thought it would be difficult. It wasn't. Once we figured it out, I was like, oh, it's like a Lego. Kind of like roof.
So Mediterranean D. By the way, I saw your comment about the. You know what? Let me go ahead now. I'll just do it right now. He said, "Have you seen the Andrioni bar attachment?" So I pulled it up, and I'm gonna show it right now. He said it's supposed to mimic the Nautilus pullover. I'll pull it up as a product that is. That's this was my first time seeing it. So, but this is it right here, and see a couple of shots of it. You can do neutral grip shoulder presses. Looks like you can do some dips on it. I don't know about dips. It looks like it's an attachment that you put on.
So
Yeah, it looks like a cable attachment. Yeah.
So that'll work well with if you have to have tornado arms to be able to do that, because look in the width of the bar. Because you couldn't. I'm thinking like, how would you use that on like say the Belgian steel single stack?
Oh, there's no way.
No, unless
Yeah, we would have to use it. I mean, I guess you could use bands or something, but yeah.
Well, you have
Or actually,
Swiss cheese that
We could use, no, I'm saying like we'd have to have something to still hold it. And so we got the swing set straps that go on the bar, and we also have those straps that go with the gymnastic rings. So we could use those. But so yeah, so to answer your question, this is our first time seeing this.
Right. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, mechanically, how would that work? It actually looks kind of cool to be able to use,
Yeah.
but it's like for it being a
Like for
cable.
our specific setup, I don't know if it will work for us.
Now, if you have like the power racks that have the functional
James could use
trainers,
it.
yeah, because it has that on the both sides.
Mhm.
Then that would definitely
Our son
work.
James, sorry.
Yeah, we have a lot of kids.
Yeah,
We've done our job, we are done.
we
Um,
were fruitful, we multiplied, we're done.
yeah, we've passed the torch. And so that would work well, like on a functional trainer, that's on a power rack with swivel shackles.
Yeah.
So,
He said, I wish I could get dumbbells, but I have to settle for power block adjustables and my 100 to 110 pound dumbbells. So the big thing for us about the adjustables is Naomi and I work out, not all the time, but a fair amount of time we work out together. And there are times when she's doing something. So our rest period, we're not doing the same program. We have different goals. So our rest periods are different. So if she's doing something that requires her to use, say, the 30s or the 40s, and I need the 90s, and our rest periods aren't the same, it's difficult to work out together. We tried that, like we said in
our fur pump.
we said it in the video about why we got that dumbbell set up in the first place. But yeah, we tried that in 2003 and it didn't work.
It was a Bowflex.
Yeah.
And I think also
the ones that broke.
the
Yes.
ones that broke, one of the
Mhm.
discs fell off.
If you hear that bitterness, it's because it's real.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was a moment.
Yeah. But he said that's a nice dumbbell setup. He says better than the gym. I'm telling you, there's a reason why. So I've had a home gym since 2001, and then I met Naomi in 2002. So we've had a home gym since 2002. And when we met, my gym was in a shed. But since then, we've been kind of like tailoring it to our needs. And I firmly believe that if you have a home gym, it should be the best gym in town for you, right? And I mean, this actually kind of relates to something I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But yeah, I'm like, you should be proud of not just your gym, but also what you've accomplished in that gym. Now you mentioned swivel shackles, so I'll go ahead and I'll pull up kind of what they are from when I first encountered them.
Those are awesome sauce.
Yeah, so I first encountered swivel shackles at Home Gym Con when Andrew was showing me around the Bells of Steel booth. And this is him showing them to me right there. I got the sound off, but you guys can check them out.
But mighty.
It's one of those things that you don't really think about and like being important. But he said like they basically had them on all their stuff. And let me see. Check this out.
We're creating a piece for the make up the difference.
Thanks for coming in to talk about Doug Jr.
No, we're not doing that. No, we're not talking about Doug Jr. Anyway, so I'll just stop sharing. Yeah. The emo and Doug. That's hilarious. That's actually that's one of my favorite commercials, especially where he gets stuck in the chair. Yeah, that's 100. Okay, so there we go. Now, all right, let's go back and we're gonna share again. Now we got that corrected.
We need to go ahead and splash it.
Make sure you can. Make sure you guys can hear what he's saying. But so this is Andrew from Bells of Steel explaining the swivel shackles,
Which is a cool new thing that we're doing. Yeah. Those just pull up and then they just clip back in. Super cool. So you can hit it from any angle and not have an issue. Right. Because like on the Kraken, if you're like pulling them at different angles, they get real funky. Yeah. But this one, like the swivel shackles don't bind up anywhere. And we've seen some really good results with those. But all I did was just start.
All right, so there you go. So the swivel shackles, they basically prevent your cables from binding up. Now, you can get those from Amazon, but I like the Bells of Steel version just because I think that they're nicer.
They feel more solid.
To me, they just feel nicer. I just like them. And we paid for those. I mean, we get stuff from Bells of Steel.
Their website, so it was always out of stock. And then one day we saw it and it was like in stock, like button.
Yeah, it's like exactly. But Mediterranean D says, "Oh yeah, you need the dumbbells. I work out alone." Yeah, and he says, "Yeah, I use the swivel shackles." Yeah, it's like to me, it's like once you get them and now you're not behind your cable's not behind it, you're like, "Oh, this is man. Why was I living the other way? This is 100% better." Um, this is another one that I would say this one and I'm going kind of like in order of things that impact. So the dumbbell rack and the swivel shackle impacted both of us. Now this is a product that really was just a favorite of mine. Um, and I had been looking for something like this for some time. And I finally got it. And it is the AbMat ROM pad. Um, so let me go ahead and share my screen real quick so you guys can see that. So this is not sponsored at all. I get nothing for telling you guys about this, but this is the ROM pad. So you see that it's got that curve in it and it's got that strap. So it goes, you can strap it onto, let me see right here. So you can strap it onto the bench. And then I like to get on it and use it to kind of like expand my range of motion. So where I see the most benefit is with dumbbell flies. And I will get on the bench and just use that to stretch either so I'll do dumbbell flies the day I do bench or I won't do the flies at all. I'll wait till the next day when I'm doing like recovery stuff and I'll just do flies or maybe polygon flies where I'm just like stretching and then letting it like open me all the way back up. Cause after you bench, you end up being yeah, I was like, let me just move it. You end up like super tight like this, but with those, it really opens things back up.
Did you say pelican flies?
Poliquin from the late Charles Poliquin. He was a strength coach.
Well, just to tell you how my mind works. When I thought you said pelican. I'm like, okay, caw-caw,
So you thought it was a bird? No.
caw-caw. Sorry.
I actually met Charles Poliquin. That's not my claim to fame, but I met him. But anyway, so you guys can see right there, my range of motion is a whole lot deeper because it elevates you so the bench pad isn't getting in the way of you being able to open up your shoulders. And that's huge for me. Because ever since that that powerlifting meet where I got injured, and remember I came home and Naomi, we got home. No, I called Naomi because our son was driving us back. And I called Naomi and said, when we get to the house, we can drop him off and I need you to take me to urgent care. When we went to urgent care, and I got the picture somewhere of me sitting next to her with my arm in a sling, because I had been in a sling since I strained my rotator cuff at this competition, at this powerlifting meet, trying to bench over 360, right? And I got injured on my first attempt. And I had done 360, but I got injured on 330. That was my opener. So that was the day I said, this is never happening again. And that's really what got me started really into mobility and stuff like that. And so I'm always on the lookout for little things that can help me out with especially keeping my shoulders and upper back mobile. So the ROM pad is a big one for me. I'm gonna say the Anchor X is another one that
That was actually kind of cool to see.
we do not own that, but I was talking to Carp about the Anchor. We were talking about the Voltra and whatnot. And I think that the thing with the Anchor is, to me, it solves the problem that you have with the Voltra, right? So the problem with the Voltra is, to me anyway, is that when you run, if there's ever a power outage or anything like that, you're going to immediately, let's say you're in the middle of, like whenever you go to try to use your, you try to use the Ike and it would have an update. Right. Okay. So imagine if you're in the middle of using it and the power cut off and we had a power outage, right? We just had a power outage downstairs the other day. Yeah. Well, that's okay. But I'm just like, but still it's like, it's like, well, that's why I prefer, like Carp says, analog solutions. So this is the Anchor X. It's space saving, and I want one of these for Daddy's house for our home away from home gym.
Yeah.
because the thing is completely analog. It's got a 2-year warranty, and this is not sponsored either. This is just me telling you something that I saw, I was skeptical about, and I said, oh, actually, now that you've explained it to me, I get it, and it makes sense to me. So you guys can see it. I'll go ahead and most of you guys watching are familiar with it because you went to, well, I wouldn't say most of you because there's a bunch you watching. There's over 5,000 you watching, and there weren't 5,000 people at Home Gym Con. But a lot of you have seen the Anchor, and you've seen the Anchor X.
Smooth.
But yeah, this thing is
both of their units very smooth because it does have the roller both for up down and also to the side, so it doesn't bind the cable.
right.
And but also with the weight adjustment and everything else that's on there, it's actually a really solid piece of equipment.
Heck yeah. So yeah, this is, I mean, you guys can see I'm using it. You can use it for different things, all the stuff that you could use any kind of cable system for. And you can also see that the harder I yank on it, the more resistance it gives me. So uh, I'm a fan of that product. And yes, I prefer it to the Voltra or any of that digital stuff that needs batteries or whatever. Now, I also, one of my favorite products is the RitFit towel. Y'all say what you want to say about it, but I earned that towel because I was not only the first to lift that 220-pound dumbbell, I was also the only one to lift that dumbbell twice. And I keep bringing that up because nobody in there, well, Naomi probably believed, but she wasn't around, which is why it came up, because the people watching didn't believe that I'd be able to lift it because all these other people had tried and they failed. Oh, well, not my problem. And I went to go lift it. And because they didn't believe I could lift it, they didn't record it. So when Naomi came back and I was like, hey, who's got the video so I can show my wife? None of them had the video. So I had to do it again. And that's why I said every time this topic comes up, I'm going to mention that I had to do it twice because they didn't believe in me. That's what you get. Don't ever doubt me again. All right. But anyway, my refit towel. It's very important to me. And then honorable mention to, I don't have any video or footage of it, but we got a Garage Life logo rubber mat that Freedom Fitness made for us. That mat is currently outside Naomi's door. But it's going to be the centerpiece when we redo our gym flooring. And it's really cool that
It's
Ashley
like the
made that for
welcome
us.
to my office.
Yeah. So there's that. All right. So let me take this down here. All right. Now we're going to start wrapping up the show, but I do want to touch on two topics. The first one is based on a comment made by Jason Manu Parson Gym in the most recent episode of Rep, Rant, Repeat. And I'm going to, I was going to screen share it, but it's basically just Jason talking. So instead, I will just add this video to the description of our video on YouTube. So you guys, if you're watching on replay, shout out to Replay Game once again. If you're watching on replay, you can go to just go ahead and check it out. So once the stream is over, I will add it to the video description so you guys can watch it. Okay. In any case, Jason said basically he thinks his gym is no longer a home gym, so it's in his garage. Hence the name Manu Parson Gym.
Right.
But he thinks his gym is more of a commercial gym that happens to be in his house rather than being a true home gym. And the thing that I say about that is the reason why I wanted to comment about it is because I didn't like that he felt, in fact, I will screen share it just so you guys can see my comment. Because he said, I don't think I'm a home gym guy anymore, right? So as I said in my comment, I watched it twice before commenting because I didn't want to just give a knee-jerk old man talking about how good the good old days were, type of answer. But my answer didn't change. So I said, and you guys got to watch his video to get the context, but I reject the notion that if you don't have a bunch of DIY hacks in your home gym, that it's suddenly not an authentic home gym.
That's what I was going to ask is what is the definition of a home gym? Is it because it's not as...
You see, like, this is my comment. I said a lot, okay? I wrote a book, okay? But I'm going to save y'all. I'm just going to tell you the gist of what I said because I think it's important. So there's a notion, and you guys comment if you think that there's something to that about, it's got to be, it's not an authentic home gym if it's not a if you don't have DIY hacks in there, and if it looks too commercial, if it looks almost as if it looks too nice, right? My I get it. I get it. But remember, a lot, I don't want to make it sound bad, right? But a lot of people who have this notion entered the home gym community because of COVID. Okay. And well, when they entered the home gym community, they had no choice but to have hacks because everybody was buying up the equipment, so they couldn't find anything. And so they started using hacks for all kinds of stuff. I'm not saying that prior to COVID that we didn't do any hacks. All right. And yes, we saw it. We're like, oh, that's a cool hack. It's whatever. But I want to say that when when I first started my home gym in 2001, I only had two dumbbells, 270-pound dumbbells, which we just sold, and a wooden box. Well, I don't even know what happened to the wood box. But the point is, probably,
Non-RPP.
just got left behind. I don't know. But my goal when I started was to replicate the commercial gym where I had worked as closely as possible. So every chance I got more stuff because I was like, oh yeah, I used to have this at the gym, so I want to get this. And nobody ever was like, oh, my gym, it doesn't have this or that. And I'm sorry, my gym has too much commercial gym stuff, so it's not a home gym, right? So if you look at people who, and Jake actually made a very good comment about this on the Home Gym Roundtable. He said that a lot of people in the home gym community were people who were serious about a strength sport, but who didn't have access to what they needed to train for that sport because they didn't live somewhere close to a gym that had that stuff, right? Because we didn't have a ton of strongman gyms and whatever back then. And so I go through this entire like timeline in my comment where I just like, the thing is that prior to COVID, between roughly 2006 and COVID, you had a lot of people who were CrossFitters. And so they started thinking about a home gym because Greg Glassman wrote a blog post talking about the garage gym because people were complaining about CrossFit box prices. And he's like, well, you can do the same thing in a garage. Just do this. And if you look at a CrossFit box, it looks like a garage, right? So all these garage gyms were set up as mini CrossFit boxes. So that affected how the home gym community saw home gyms. But even still, we still had people who were like, look, I want to have a gym that looks like a gym and it's going to be at my house. Nobody ever said, oh, that's not an authentic home gym. The only time I've ever heard anybody say that, ironically, was CrossFit people who were talking to Travis from Fit Inc. because Travis made a, let's see here, Travis had a, oh God, he created a gym so that he could he could take pictures for his brand. Right. So it's like, he has an athletic apparel brand. He's like, well, Pete, you want to take pictures in the gym? And he's like, I don't necessarily always want to have to go and find a spot where, we can do, photo shoots. Right. And he got backlash. No kidding you. He got backlash from people who said, why do you have all this selectorized equipment in your gym? You could have just put, he didn't have a climbing rope, for example. And he was like, yeah, people are telling me I wasted my money. Keep in mind, this is his gym. People say, oh yeah, people were like, so he built this gym in his home. And let me go ahead and share this tab right here. So this is footage from Travis's gym at his house, right? And
That's nice.
I'm telling you, it's nice. You go in there. This is his home gym, right? He got a bunch of stuff from Arsenal Strength, and people are like, "Yo, well, you could have put a climbing rope." This is all from CrossFit people. If you look at this gym now, people who are looking at it now say, "Oh, well, that's not a home gym anymore because it's got too much commercial selectorized equipment."
But see, the thing is that
I think that's silly.
I think and this is just my opinion, but I think from the home gym space, the impact that commercial, brands and manufacturers have seen with our input, again, with a platform like YouTube, with all of you guys, but then also Home Gym Con, where you have these companies that are there hearing our feedback directly, letting us touch their equipment, letting us, say, this is really good, but this is where, this is the sticky point here, or this is what I would like to have in my gym. Because again, your home space is where you can, number one, work out comfortably.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not going out of your way, like you don't have to get in the car. Now, if it's something like you, in order to go to a commercial gym, you need that.
Like you go because you need a pool.
You need a, like I will not have a pool at my house.
No, we will not.
I'm not maintaining a pool.
No, I am not.
So I will pay the county fee per quarter to have access to their county pool, indoor, heated, nice, amenities. But that's the only membership that I'll pay.
Yeah, that's already.
Our home gym has been able to be created where it meets both of our needs.
Yeah.
Now, Greaves Gym 1.0 was a little rough. It was catered to John a lot. In fact, he's like, little dust on the floor. That's my chalk for my hands. I was like,
Well, okay, but so to stop that, so again, that's because, so when we met, I was the one working out at home, right?
Because I had the commercial.
Right, and I was in the shed with the gravel floor, right? And that didn't bother me. In fact, the only thing I didn't like about that shed was I didn't have a pull-up bar. I didn't have a weighted mounted pull-up bar. And so a lot of the people who, because I couldn't drill into it because I didn't own the house.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people back then, and this is again 2002, we had it's like you were training. Well, I was training because I was in the Marine Corps, but also because I ended up competing in powerlifting. And just time factor, and there wasn't really a powerlifting gym around. So I was like, man, I need to have the stuff that I need in order to basically train to be ready for the platform. And the thing is that if I went to a commercial gym, the benches were too slippery, for example. So it just wasn't, it wasn't conducive to me training there. So we looked at a home gym as, again, something I could tailor to myself and my needs. And I cared more about the strength I built in there than aesthetics of it, right? And in fact, there are some people who just like that grittiness of the
raw.
Yeah, they're like, oh, that's like your dream, or like your home gym is this thing, right? So it's like, okay, so let me pull it up right here. So this is kind of like what you can see. So like this is Dennis Cornelius, right? And I always still think, by the way, he's barefoot right here, and he's squatting 350 kilos. So that's about 700 pounds, right? He's doing it for 4 reps, right? Barefoot. And so I think about this image right here whenever people talk about how I'm training barefoot. And this is what, like, elite strength athletes, they train barefoot. Now, I'm not an elite strength athlete, but why wouldn't you train like the people who are the best, right? So anyway, so this rack, I'll show another thing of it. This rack right here, I'm sorry, this is 770 pounds, right? Dennis built this rack, this C-channel rack, with his dad in the afternoon one day after high school. He's been lifting on that ever since. Right? He's in his 40s now, right? So this is what a home gym was when you and I met.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody was lifting at home, it's because they were dedicated to a strength sport and they couldn't really do this in a public gym, right? You're gonna have, I mean, heck, you got people who are like, oh, you don't need to squat that much. There's gonna be people distracting you. God forbid you try to deadlift. So that was our
drop the weight. Can't use
that was our environment. And so we're like, I got to create a little area for myself so I have to deal with that foolishness from a public gym. Well, now the one thing that I say COVID did is that's when we actually redid our home gym and made it look nicer. And the side effect of that was Naomi then became, you became more willing to come and work out in there. And I'm glad that that's what happened. Like it did that because I'm flexible about the whole, like, it doesn't have to be dirty anymore. Okay. It doesn't have to be gritty or whatever. And I agree with what Carlos said, where he said, a home gym should be a space that you want to be. I think that if you can afford it, make it how you like it. And I also think that it makes no sense to me to have to wear shoes in my own house. That's the other thing. Coach Rex Beckenpaw said, I got in here way too late. Hey, man, all you gotta do is rewind and you'll be able to check out Carp. He was on in the very first part of the show. So you can go ahead and check him out. And Rory says and Rory's also a really strong dude. He said, the only footwear I prefer over flip-flops would be barefoot. Yeah, I'm like, I might throw some slides or something like that on if I got to walk to the mailbox and I don't want to step on something.
Mhm.
But if you sweep the floor in your gym, you shouldn't have to worry about being barefoot. Now, when I am preparing, if I'm getting close to competing, then I will put shoes on just so I can mimic, just like a wide receiver in football puts on a helmet and pads so he can practice catching the ball with the helmet and pads on. So I want to practice it with the same stuff I'd be wearing on in meet. But year round, I'm training as close to barefoot, as raw and with as few things as possible.
And also the other thing is the stuff that's in your home gym, you brought it in there in the first place. So it didn't just kind of show up.
Yeah.
It's so you're like, well, it's really commercial. But you select it.
So yeah, it's like it's not commercial. So it's not commercial because commercial means for profit. So unless you are using your home gym, like you got people coming into your home gym that you're charging, to me, that's not a commercial gym. And that's just what I feel about that. Essentially, you can call your home gym whatever you want to call it. What I don't like is the notion that people are gatekeeping what makes for an authentic home gym and saying, "Oh, well, it's not relatable anymore." That's what I'm hearing. People saying, "Oh, well, my home gym isn't relatable." Not relatable to who? I know tons of people who have home gyms with tons of selectorized equipment because they competed in bodybuilding and especially so like Ant DeAngelis, big Ant, all right. He's got a bunch of selectorized pieces of equipment that he bought after going and trying them in a public gym. He's like, oh, I like the way that feels. Looked it up and bought it and put it in his basement, right? And this is going back. He started doing that in the 80s, maybe the 90s, right? So the idea that you can't have selectorized equipment because it's not a home gym to me is just is nonsensical.
I mean,
right?
when we got the single stack and it was a selectorizer, that's not our first functional trainer. We've had a plate loader functional trainer in the past. And then once we got the selectorizer, it was like, oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. We're not doing plate loaded anymore. It makes life so much easier.
Rory said, absolutely, John. Louis Simmons' biggest downside was not allowing his athletes to train in the gear they competed in. Carlos said, call it a body shop if you want, because it's yours. Yes, it's your gym.
Yeah.
It's your gym, your house, your rules. Do what you like.
Exactly.
Nobody needs to be gatekeeping whether it's a home gym or anything like that. I said it before. I said it in the past. I remember when people used to apologize. Oh, it's just a little thing off my bedroom. Oh, it's just a little thing out in the backyard. Look, bedroom, backyard, basement, garage, attic, wherever it is, front porch, barn. If it's at your house and you're using it to pursue your goals, in my opinion, it's the best gym in town.
Some people have it on a trailer that they can move it around to take it to other locations. It's still
there's actually some CrossFit people who they live like the nomadic life and they carry their gym with them. So
it was actually interesting when I had to travel down to Savannah for work with my previous employer and using the park around there, and there were multiple folks that had full up trailers that they took out, racks and equipment, fold out racks,
they work out on the beach or whatever.
And they're working out. And I was like, that's kind of cool because it's a home gym, but it's a mobile gym.
Yeah.
So it was like awesome.
All right. So it is 8:23, 6:23 a.m. Good morning to those of you in the Mountain Time Zone who joined us. Appreciate you guys watching. There are 5,300 of you and change watching right now. So do me a favor, one more time, I'm gonna ask you again, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Make sure that you are also sharing this video link with people who you think might enjoy it, who might enjoy hearing from us. And we're getting ready to wrap this up. We're actually going to wrap up the show a little bit early because we are heading to Strength Flex. So Strength Flex is a company that makes exercise equipment. They actually purchased bare steel equipment, and I am excited to check out their facility. They are planning on being on the show. I'll go ahead and real quick show you guys their website. Well, we're heading over there in a few minutes. So they manufacture a bunch of stuff. From what I understand, they manufacture stuff. Uh, and so I am excited to see everything that they have going on at their facility. What I want to know from you guys is there something specific that you want to know about their products? So they make more than fitness stuff, but we're going to be focusing specifically about their fitness things. So they are a carrier for Spud Inc. They've got adaptive equipment. So like adaptive bike handles. I know that's something that catches your eye. Got adaptive multi ropes. They do carry some Spud Inc. stuff. And then as far as weight training, so they got bars, different things like that. So they got Olympic bearing bar, got a bunch of cool stuff. All right. So you guys let us know if there's something specific that you want us to check out while we're there. Uh, and yes, I'm not forgetting apartment gym owners, Carlos. Anywhere your gym, I should have said that. Apartment gyms.
Yeah.
I kind of thought I covered that when I said spare bedroom, but hey, you could have a studio apartment. Like I said, that was actually my first workout space. It was in a loft, and the dumbbells and the box were at the foot of my bed in the loft apartment. So I'm never gonna forget apartment gym owners. All right. So that's what we're gonna be doing. Now, I'll go ahead and let's wrap this up, and I'll just tell you guys what I learned this week, and then we're gonna get out of here. So, in a nutshell, what I learned this week is that whole body training has its benefits. I switched to a whole body schedule, 2 sessions a week. The rest of the week is devoted to recovery and conditioning. I can already feel a difference in my motivation levels. And I don't feel like, as you were saying, Naomi and I were talking about it. This is another one of the benefits. Remember, I said that I love the fact that Naomi trains with me now because we get to have these conversations. We don't do we talk surprisingly little in the gym.
Yeah.
Naomi doesn't like talking while she's training, but we do talk a little bit. And also, she'll come in there when I'm working out. So like the other day, I was like, "Hey, come in here. I want you to try something." It was this single arm
Scapular stretch.
scapular, one arm scapular pull down with a band, right? That I had just tried it. I said, "Oh yeah, give it." Right. So she tried it on both sides, and then it like released her shoulders, and so she was able to pop her shoulders. But anyway, so one of our conversations, I was like, "Look, I'm just feeling like beat down. I feel tired all the time." And I said, "I'm thinking about going to a whole body schedule where I'm doing 2 full body days a week, give myself a little bit more rest time." And she said, "Yeah, that way you won't feel like you're running on fumes." Because she's like, "You've been running on fumes." Or like, I guess I can let you say it, but you said that basically I've been running on fumes for over a year. I'm just trying to sometimes I don't even get to finish the workout because I got to just get this part done and I got to go.
Like you get enough time to set up, but then you look at the clock that I'll just put it up later. I was like, I'll put it up for you.
Yeah.
Whereas, do it because of your work schedule with garage and life. You know, what's a schedule is doable.
Yeah.
That will prevent interruptions, but also keep your focus on your goals, less likely to get interrupted, and also you're not going to injure yourself trying to rush through it. Because if you're trying to rush through it, that's when injuries happen, and that's what's going to give you more downtime. So I was actually going to ask how, this is like what your first week of doing full body.
Well, it's technically the second week, but I did tweak it. I did tweak it because the first week that I did it, I was getting ready to go on the road, and that's why I did it. And then I was like, "Yeah, I'm sore," but I was like, "You know what?" I ended up not having. I was very sore, but I also realized that I had time. I wasn't like, "Oh, I missed my workout. Come on again, still get the workout done." I was able to get everything else I needed done, and I didn't feel guilty for missing anything. Um,
Do you also think
and I also feel like as far as the soreness is more manageable now, because now the way I do it is um, I do recovery and conditioning on the off days, the days when I'm not lifting, which is not what was necessarily happening the first week because I was ripping and running doing the stuff for
But do
yeah.
you think also that first session where you felt extreme soreness, didn't you also try and pull like over almost at 5? So you kind of also did like a max out on your progressive.
Oh yeah, it was
So
yeah, I did a lot.
yeah. So I mean,
So now it's a sensible full body schedule.
right,
Yeah,
because you were trying to you were getting some additional video
yeah,
and trying to pull on
yeah.
those.
And that's another thing. I'm sorry I cut you off, but that's another thing that happens too, is that people don't think about it. It's like when you do this, there are times like you have to get footage of whatever because you're showing, for
certain
whatever, like we
obligations
have
for
obligations for
deliveries.
UG. Yeah, we have deliverables that we for certain products that people have sent us. And this is a thing where it's not like a deliverable where I'm just like modeling a shirt, right? It's like I'm lifting weights to do it, right? So anyway, it just like Mediterranean D said 2 times a week is good for tendon health and recovery. Overtraining is no joke. Yeah, as you just start. I've never dreaded going in the gym, but I did not feel like going in there. And it's been I've been running 4 days a week lifting schedule for several years. And it was like beginning to be a scramble to just get everything in. So anyway, now I just set up the training. So I'm always training on a day when I don't have anywhere else to be.
Also, your sessions were going like almost 2 hours or something like that. And my sessions would be at most an hour,
Right.
hour and 10 minutes, maybe. And that's only because you know, you were working in and I couldn't access where I needed to be when my
Yeah.
rest period was up. Um,
I mean, my sessions are still going to be longer than yours though, because I'm lifting heavier. So I got to rest longer, especially like right now
right.
for what I'm trying to do.
Right.
My rest periods are longer, but,
But I think with help with focus of recovery.
and I don't have anywhere to be. I don't have to rush. I'm not skipping stuff, which means I'm also not skipping like the assistance work and the little accessory movements and then recovery move. Yeah, and then the recovery mobility stuff having its own separate days means I'm not ignoring those things either. And a lot of that stuff is like just body weight stuff I could do anywhere, but it means I have time to do it now. And because I'm not beat up, I actually do it. Um, I will say that does mean saying no to certain things. So, like for example, one of my lifting days is after church. So that means, I'm not necessarily, if people say, hey, let's go do this, or they had like something at the church where it's like, I'm not trying to be antisocial, but they had like a thing after church. And I was like, I can't stay here and hang out. I got to go lift. Right. Um, but the thing is that I found that even the people in your life who don't train, will respect your boundaries if you show them that you're serious about it. Especially when you tell them, hey, I'm pushing towards a specific goal and they see you're serious, they'll respect that. And if they don't, then in my opinion, they just showed you that they don't belong in your life because they don't respect you. If they don't respect your goals and something that means a lot to you, they don't respect you. So you got to figure out whether you need them in your life at all.
It's a different category.
I mean, like my parents don't lift weights, and they all, if I say, "Hey, I gotta work out before we do this," they always say, "Okay," because they understand. Mediterranean D said, "I'm on a deload right now." Yeah, now I will say that I never skip my deloads. So that's probably the only thing that kept me going. And he said protein and food is what builds muscle anyway. And Carlos said, it's great you guys work out together, relationship goals. Hey man, I'm telling you, there are benefits to it that you don't realize until you actually start working out together, because she noticed that I was starting to drag. And so she was able to say stuff. Naomi also gives me feedback and just like I give her feedback on her lifting, like, oh well, you were out too much over your feet if it's a deadlift or just whatever, or it looked like, you know, and so it's good having a second set of eyes. Anyway, that is it for today's show. Thank you, Naomi, for joining me today.
Okay.
No, don't do that.
Today.
Yeah, thank you for joining me today.
You need coffee.
We've been up for a long time.
Something with
And
bacon.
but before that, thanks
Coffee
also.
bacon.
No, we're not doing that. Thanks also to our guest, Eric Carpenter from Carp's Gym YouTube channel. The show would not have been a success without you. Thank you to all of you for tuning in and making this place the most fun place to be on a Friday morning. Next week, we've got powerlifting coach Brad Abbott on at 7 a.m. Eastern time to answer your training questions. Last time Brad was on here, he gave tips that made a difference in several people's training. They've told me. And in fact, Brad's advice has got our guy Carlos close to a 300-pound bench press for reps for the first time ever. So I cannot wait to have Brad back on. We're going to unpack his latest meet performance, and he's going to give you guys more tips. This is going to be one where you guys are going to want to start DMing at Garage Gym Life on Instagram with any videos if you want to get form checks from Brad. He's happy to do it, but it saves time if I already have the videos DM to me. So just DM the video, and then we'll pull it up during the show. All right. Then so that'll be at 7 a.m. Eastern. Then in 8 a.m. Eastern time slot, we've got Andy Wang from Yanray Fitness joining us. So those are the people who YRE Fitness.
Mhm.
We met at HFA. You were doing the unilateral pull down,
Mhm.
and then I was doing the converging shoulder press. So we're gonna sit down. We're gonna talk to Andy about product innovation and learn more about their company. And they mentioned something about Home Gym Con. I believe they're going, so I'm going to do my best to find out what they're bringing to Home Gym Con. All right. Don't forget to tune in to Mailbag Mondays every Monday at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time on the Garage Gym Life Media YouTube channel. Got another stack of questions to answer, and thank you, Lord, none of them include anything about my 3-year-old bench press video. Anyway, we are now heading to Strength Flex, so watch for those videos on our LinkedIn. But until next week, keep sharing this show link, and please keep stacking days. Peace out.